This is the best possible start to DragonSword Awakening. I'm going to show you the easiest way to play by teaching you how to maximize your damage, give you the optimal routes to clear the early mandatory parts of the story, and limit how much you have to grind by showing you just how much damage you can deal. You can turn a 3-minute boss fight grind into 20 seconds, alright? I'm going to show you the best overall team and gear, but with this guide, you are free to use any characters you want. However, I'm just going to show you the highest damage, easiest to play, fastest damage-dealing characters. No story spoilers, and we will be covering half of the main story, but I'm not going to be talking about the story or showing the story. So if you're looking to see cutscenes or just watch the game be played, this is not that video for you. This is a guide video on how to play the game. Now, we're also going to be showing you a lot of hidden treasure locations to get lots of early currency and gear. Let's get into it. Before we begin, I highly recommend that you change some of the settings. So go down here to the settings menu, go to controls, and what I recommend that you do is that you change your dodge button to a side mouse button. You change your dash to shift, which is also your sprint button. You're gonna change your reset camera to control, because we don't really use this, and you're gonna change your lock-ons to maximum in the game's settings and controls here. So what I mean by lock-ons to max, I'll show you. All right, so we have lock-on angle correction, set that to max, and then you want default large angle correction at max and long-range aim correction at large. There is one enemy type in the game called a skeleton, and if you're using one of the characters, her aim will be off, so you have to change this to normal or off. But it's a trash mob. You just kill it in one AoE spell anyway. It's not a big deal. But for everything else, you want to have it set to large. Also, do note, you can't actually change your controls until you are in the game itself. So once the game starts, you can then go to controls, and then the keyboard and mouse settings button will appear. This won't appear on the title screen. So again, we want to go to settings, and we want reset camera on control. Alright, and then we want to dodge to a side mouse button. Now, it's showing here as my middle mouse wheel, but I have it rebound through my computer because I use my middle click as a side mouse button just for general web browsing and video editing. Alright, and then dash is shift. Basically, dash doubles as your sprint button, and you won't be using this too much once you get a mount anyway. So the way this guide works is it's going to have timestamps in the description, but if you want, just look at the top or the bottom of the screen. You will see text that, like this right here, that says Mission 1, and this is going to direct you to what part of the game I'm on. And so I'm going to give you all the tips and tricks for every mission as we progress through the game, what to do, and you're going to be in tip-top shape. You're going to be overpowered for all of the content, making all of the fights super duper easy. But let's go ahead and get into the game. Starting off on Mission 1, we are going to... I'm not going to walk you through all the missions and what they're about, but I'm going to show you just extra little things. Like, you want to make sure that at the start, you're looting everything that's sparkly on the ground that you see, alright? Now, starting here from the beach, do note that you can break these crates for some gold. It's not a big deal, but just get used to breaking crates and boxes. Now, on the beach down here on the right, you have a breakable wall. And this game, you know, early on it's going to teach you that you can pick up these explosive barrels, and then you can just chunk them at the wall. Yeah, you can do that. You don't have to do that. You can also just attack the wall with your regular attacks, whatever. These things will be broken very quickly early, and behind it is a chest with some items. Next up is over here. If we go to the left, there's another breakable wall. So just go over there, break that, and loot that chest as well. Once you're done looting the two broken walls with the chest, you want to run around and grab as much shellfish and conches and everything that's sparkling on the ground. Just make sure that you run around and grab it. Also here on this first little tree, if you climb up it, there is some bird eggs. And yes, you want to collect these because the more you collect, you can unlock a mount once you collect a certain amount around the world. And you can find them in trees and hidden all over the place. Not a big deal. But other than that, again, you want to be looting everything sparkly. So you can see right here, these rock mushrooms. Very, very useful. I'm going to show you all the best places to farm food later in the game. But just be aware that you want to be checking as you run through these missions. You want to just be picking up everything there is to pick up. So look up at trees, look down at rocks. Whenever you see breakable objects like this, just make sure that you're smashing into them and getting all of the loot. You don't want to pass up anything. There's even a hidden chest right here behind all of this this junk, so you go ahead and grab that. And I'm not going to walk you through every single mission on what to do. A lot of it's self-explanatory. Just follow the instructions. You know, the game will have a map and it will have quest markers. You don't need me to tell you where to go for those. But what I do recommend, just pick up absolutely everything. For collectibles in the water, we're going to wait until we have a water-faring mount, so don't worry about those. The best way to do combat is you want to use both characters as much as you can, so just use their abilities, and while they're using their abilities, switch to the other character. So I'm going to push Q as loot, and then switch to Castella and push Q, or F. That way both characters are actively participating in combat. So while Castella is whirlwinding, I can switch back to loot, and then do some attacks. So once you get a third party member, this is basically how you're going to just operate all of the time. Is just cast abilities, swap characters, cast ability, cast any abilities that you can. And, I mean, the game will kind of teach you this, but essentially you just always want to be swapping back and forth and burning those cooldowns. Once you've taken out the goblins in this little area, there is a chest right here on the right side that you can pick up. Now, you can name your mercenary corps whatever you want, but this name will show up to other players if you do any of the online co-op stuff, so just be aware of that. Once you've named the corps, you're going to get this item right here. This is called Fate's Invitation. This lets us get a character for free, and there is a very specific character that we want to get, and you're going to push Escape, and you're going to go to Exchange, and then here under Hero, you're going to pick the most powerful character in the game, and that is Dana. Dana is a summoner character, and this means you can double dip into damage. You have a free tank. You have a free AI that just runs around. It's basically a fourth party member. And Dana is absolutely more powerful than any of these other characters, alright? After that, we don't really need any of these other characters for this video. We're not going to be using anyone. I know that a lot of other YouTubers think that Charlotte is, like, super amazing. She's not. I don't know if it was in, like, the beta she was good, but she's okay at single target DPS. I am going to give you a party that not only excels at single target DPS, but also multi-target AoE DPS for crowd control and clearing. And a lot of these guide videos out there, they get it wrong. Like, Charlotte sucks, okay? Yeah, she's cool, but she sucks, alright? So, again, a lot of people have this stuff wrong. They're not MMORPG enthusiasts that want to min-max. I am. That's why my entire channel is about, is min-maxing and dealing as much getting your numbers as high as freaking possible, alright? So, now that we have Dana, we're going to put her on the team. So, we're going to go to team, and, yeah, I'm skipping the tutorial here. And we are going to just add Dana, there we go, and save. Now, we're going to be getting another party member named Aria here pretty shortly. We're not going to be using Aria except for a couple puzzles. But this is going to be the team for now until we progress the story a bit. But we will be replacing loot as soon as possible. Now, you may be excited because the world just opened up. We can run around the whole place and explore and do a bunch of stuff. But it is not optimal to do that right now because we don't have a mount yet. And we don't have fast travel yet. So, what you're going to do is, well, go and open the chest that you're nearby here. This is just a little freebie chest. But you're just going to progress the main story. The main story is the yellow question mark or exclamation points on the map. So, I'm going to talk to Aria here. And we're just going to continue to progress the story. And I know there's a whole lot of stuff that we could go do, but it's not optimal to do it right now. Just beeline the main story. It's not going to lock us out of anything. We're not going to miss anything. We just need to get a mount as soon as possible. Mission 5 reward gave us some food. We're going to push the I button. And yeah, this is going to teach you what to do. But we're going to click on the pan-fried dumplings, and then we're going to assign it to our first slot there. We don't really need to assign mushroom tea, so don't worry about that. But, just continue along your quests. Alright, so now we have a familiar the game will teach us. We push the button, and here's, well, a little cutscene that I can't seem to skip. There we go. But essentially, we now have a mount. There we go, skip that. And this mount sucks. This is a pretty plain mount. It has no abilities. But we can immediately get a better mount than this. And here's how you do it for PC players. If you're on console, it's going to be pretty similar, but I don't own a console. So you're going to have a little bit of ingenuity, but for PC players, pay attention. Alright, PC gamers, go to the Steam page for DragonSword Awakening, and you're going to scroll down, and you're going to go to the Browse All Content for this game. And, well, that one's actually a little bit harder to see here. But what you're looking for is the familiar Abyssal Direwolf. It'll be free. It is free. So you click on Abyssal Direwolf, and then you would click the download button. And then once that's done, you press escape, and you go to familiar. And this will just tell you kind of what familiars do. Alright. And, it did not apply for some reason. Which is what you might be thinking, but here's how you actually apply it. You go to the codex, and then you will have the familiar button over here. You'll see a little gift, a little red thing there. We're going to click on that. And then we're going to scroll down to the Abyssal Direwolf, which has the little gift icon. We're going to click on that, and then click Claim. And there we go. Now we have a real mount that has one of the best movement abilities. It's going to make things so much faster. I have seen so many streamers and YouTubers that didn't do this, and they wasted so much time running around on the damn beetle, okay? So now that we've claimed it, now you can go to familiar. And I use, because I'm going to be using Dana as our main character here. So we're going to give her the Abyssal Direwolf and hit swap. There we go. And what this wolf does, it has the boost jump ability. So let me show you what it's like normally. Most normal players, they ride on the beetle and they can sprint around like this, which isn't bad, right? It's not the worst, okay? But with the direwolf, you can also do the sprint. But when you jump, you do a very fast-moving burst, and you can chain this. And so you can get around very, very quickly, much faster than just running normally. But when you're on the beetle, you can't do that. You can glide or whatever. All mounts can glide, but you can't do the burst running jump boost, okay? Like, look how slow this is, right? I'm gonna run to the stairs. Like, look how long this takes, right? Oh boy. Versus on this guy, and now look how fast this is. 1 jump and 2 jumps, and we're basically already there. Well, maybe 3, but you get the idea. You move so much faster doing this that it's just going to save you an infinite amount of time while questing. Now that you have the mount, you can very quickly follow the quest markers and, yeah, speedrun some more quests, because we have more mounts to unlock, which we just need to do a bunch of quests. We need a mount that lets us dive underwater, well, swim faster underwater, and we need a mount that lets us climb up walls quickly. Once we have those 2 mounts, we can explore the world and open a lot of hidden treasures and level up our characters super quick. Also, you may be tempted to do a bunch of side quests and do a bunch of the blue quests. You don't need to do them. Also, anytime you see like an orange light, this is just a fast travel waypoint, so just run up and then activate it, and you can fast travel here later. Basically, everything on the map that you see is a fast travel point. There's one right there. Statues and dungeons can also be fast traveled to, so you always want to run up and interact with them any chance that you get while you're out doing quests, alright? But other than that, try not to get too distracted by things to do on the side. A lot of it just isn't worth doing early, and we could do it later when we're stronger and faster. Now, you're probably wondering, how do you use Dana? And, you know, I'm going to let you figure out a little bit for now, because we're not really getting into combat much. I know we had to fight some goblins or whatever to get this sheep, but we're gonna accelerate the process here in just a little bit, so just kind of hold out for a tiny bit longer. Also, make sure that you're picking up everything that sparkles, you know, anytime you go around to do anything. And, yeah. I'm going to show you, again, Dana is our main character, our initiator, our fight starter. And our other characters are kind of support. Also, you may be tempted to stop what you're doing and fight enemy mobs. This game isn't your typical RPG where you grind mobs. So, I just run past everything. There's no reason to fight them right now. Now, if you do want to stop and break some of these crystals, you can. But there's going to be so many of these that it's not going to be a problem. But, yeah, just run to the quest objective, which I got a little sidetracked here. And again, just run to every quest objective and do everything. Don't worry about fighting every mob. Alright, so our quest now is to defeat 10 goblins. What we're going to do, as Dana, we're going to push escape and go to Hero. And then we're going to, right here at Information, we're going to click the Level Up button. And we're just going to click Max Out. And you'll notice we don't have enough money So here's how we get a little bit more money, alright? You might have more or less depending on if you've been opening chests, but go to the quest, you'll see the little gift button here. And we're going to go to adventure, you'll see, again, the red gift button. And we're going to click right here, 01, the adventure, 60% done, and just click the coins, and that's 120,000. So that's more than enough money to be able to level up our character here. So again, now that we go to level up and hit max, we can hit level 18 with our current items. We're going to get more of these pretty easily, but level 18 is more than enough to just absolutely body the goblins, okay? So our other characters, we will level them up, but not right now. Don't worry too much about it, okay? So as Dana, what you're going to do is you're going to use your Q spell, which is to summon Chaco, which is your ice golem. This is going to pop the regular enemies up in the air, which you can then use Castella and Loot's abilities at the same time to attack them. So it's going to look something like this. Push Q, and then push 2, push 1, push G, push 3, push 2, and yeah, they're basically all dead. So you essentially just, again, spam your abilities every time the game gives you an opportunity. Now, whenever you don't have your Q ability, if it's on cooldown, like let's say we summon Chaco and we don't have anything else to push, what you want to do is you want to do dodge attacks. You can also do it as a sprint attack, but a dodge attack looks like this. So I'm gonna hold forward, dodge, and left click. And what this does is think of it like a flamethrower, but it's an ice thrower. And it creates a cloud of frost that deals damage over time rapidly. So look how fast we break the crystal. It's super quick. And so what this does, this hits the enemy multiple times with high damage. It builds frost stacks. And when enemies are frozen, we can chain them with other abilities. So in combat, it's going to look something like this, and you just circle strafe around them. And again, they take multiple damage over time because they are frozen now. Castella is offering to do her ability, so you would swap to her. Once they're airborne, you swap to Loot to impale them. And again, you just want to constantly switch back and forth between Dana and your characters and spam all of their abilities. That's essentially how combat's going to run for now. And once we get them more leveled up and we get some more core skills unlocked, it's going to be a lot simpler. By the way, characters like Loot have the ability to jump into a boss and stab them. When they're doing that, you could swap characters, and Loot will stay on the boss and continue to stab them. So we don't want to switch back to Loot while Loot is mounted on the boss. We just want to use our other characters and dump our abilities. So you'll see Loot dismounted there. So now we can swap back to Loot whenever he gets a chance. And Loot is a boy, a guy. Yeah, just keep swapping your characters and spam your abilities. And that's all there is to it. It's really, really quick. Also, for breakable objects in the future, you're going to be using Castella's jumping attack. And that is the quickest way now to break walls for now. That gave us a gear set. So again, just do your jump attacks, and that's going to deal tremendous break damage to breakable objects. Just keep that in mind. For Mission 8, the game kind of makes you think that you're going to be doing a dungeon, but all you're really doing is killing a few surface level mobs here. So just dump Chaco on them, you know, dump your skills, whatever. And swap back to Dana here. And yeah, just kill the mobs, and then there is a little, like, corkscrew thing on the ground here. You're going to pick that up and take it back to that building on the surface. You're not going to go deeper into the dungeon. You're just going to grab that cogwheel. Now, every time you activate one of these tower things, Eon's Legacies or whatever they're called, there is always a hidden puzzle chest with a treasure map nearby these things. Every single one of them, alright? So what you want to do before you head back to town through the jump gate there is you want to look around, and it looks like it's there's a puzzle over there. I don't think that's the one though, but let me try. I'll go ahead and try to. Oh yeah, there it is. It's over there. So you're looking for like a purple or pink like crystal thing, and I'll show you right here. It's actually northwest of the tower. They all have these, and they're very basic, simple puzzles, right? And so this is a pushable tower. And we just need to push it on this button. But you can see that there's debris on the button. So we're just going to break the debris here. There we go. And I love how video games fade things away. Alright, so we're going to push this onto the button. There we go. And we've completed the puzzle. And that reveals a chest. And inside of this chest, there will always be a treasure map. This is useful for upgrading our characters, okay? and you'll see treasure map. So what we do with the treasure map, we push I, we go down here to the important, and we go to the treasure map, and I guess I have 2 treasure maps. Huh. I'm not, oh no, I don't, never mind. There it is. So click the treasure map and click mark, and it's going to show you where to go. So before we do anything else, we want to go here and get this treasure. So here's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to jump through the gate on the tower. I'm going to face this way. That way I get a little bit of momentum boost. And then I'm just going... It's right over there on that island in the distance. But we can't cross the water because we don't have a water mount yet. And so, again, I'm just going to glide until I can land on land here. Land at the bottom. Like this. Get a little bit of stamina back. And then we will do our boost jumps. And then we'll get there super quick. No, I did not want to land in the tree. Alright. But yeah, I'm just going to boost jump my way there. Now, what you want to do on the way to is you want to touch, like, see how there's this statue here and there's this dungeon here? You want to touch these on the way because just by activating them, they also act as a fast travel point. So again, I'm just going to come over here and I'm just going to touch the dungeon. So we're just going to push F on it, if I can get in front of it here. There we go, we've activated it, and now we can fast travel back to it any time. So here we are at the hidden treasure. Now, it's right here in the bushes, but you may be thinking, do you need the treasure map to be able to loot this? And the answer is yes. If you don't use the treasure map, this chest will not spawn. So these chests have a lot of loot in them, but they also have Stigma Awakens and Forbidden Grimoires. And those are the 2 things that we need to upgrade our character. And again, it's just got a lot of good loot in it, so we always want to be doing those when they're convenient for us. Alright. Now, do note that you can fast travel around for completely free. So, our quest wants us to go back here. We're just going to click on the quest, and then warp to nearby. That'll just put us back in town, close by. You don't have to run back to the tower. You don't have to use the tower to, you know, air burst you back to town. You can just teleport back to town, and then, you know, run back to the quest, you know, turn-in point, which is at the guild receptionist here. And we're going to keep questing. By the way, anytime you're in town or near town and your characters are wounded, you can see Dana's HP is a little bit low here. Just go up to the statue and then click the restore button here. And, yeah, there is a time limit on how often you can use this, but you'll never run out of charges as long as you're not being too reckless. And later, there is a free way to heal anytime without the statues, without using food, and I'll go over that once we unlock the ability to do so. But, you know, just keep your characters topped up. It's not much, but before you talk to Ornette on Mission 9, there's a quest behind the statue you can go ahead and just, you know, grab if you want. But, yeah, just keep questing. Upon completing Mission 9, you get a new mount, and this one lets you dive underwater. We won't be using this too much, but it is handy. Now, because of the way ranged characters work, we actually want to give this mount to Dana. So we're actually going to swap her out for this one. And the reason why is if you're swimming and you need to fight something, on a ranged character, if you dismount, you can kind of float in the air and shoot off your spells. And so that's why it's perfect for Dana. So we're going to swap this to Dana. And then we're going to give Castella the Abyssal Direwolf for movement. Also, the main story quest wants us to go to that dungeon. Well, lucky for us, we already got the fast travel for it. So, again, you don't have to ride there manually. Now, before we go in, we are going to level up Castella, just the exact same way we leveled up. Just hit max. It looks like we have enough money. We have enough materials. If you don't, it's fine. There we go. And then with that, we can also level up Dana to 20. She's at, what, 18 at the moment. So let's go ahead and level her up. There we go. And the remaining ones, again, it's very easy to get these materials. We're just going to put it into loot so that he's not completely useless. So that puts him at 11. Yours might be slightly higher or lower, but it doesn't matter. This dungeon is really, really, really easy. We're going to go ahead and just enter the dungeon here, and it's got some gear as loot. I know we haven't equipped any gear yet. Don't worry, we don't need it yet. It's not much until we upgrade it anyway. Gear is very minimal early game, and then super late in-game gear is what's going to give you the most stats, but don't worry too much about gear right now. If you're unsure where to go in the dungeon, well, there's a light there for you, but you can also move the bookshelves around, so fun times. That's basically what the game wants us to do, is go over here, and then we're going to be moving a bookshelf around. Alright, missions 11 and 12 were just dialogue. So, mission 13, before heading to the quest objective out in the field, we're going to activate this tower so we can unveil the map. And it's a pretty simple way to do this puzzle. We're going to talk to Alwyn, I think that's his name here, to start the quest, the little side quest. And then, in order to clear the tower, we just need Aria, so we're going to go to team. And then we will just take loot out real quick, put Aria in. There we go. And then switch to Aria and just use your Q or E spell, throw a bomb. That's going to ignite all of the cobwebs. And then we can just switch Aria out back for loot. There we go. And then talk to Alwyn, and that unlocks the tower. Very easy. Also, before we do any questing, I'm going to run down here and then touch the Warg Cave, which I'm being attacked by a boar. But, oh boy. Let's kill that boar real quick. Alright, there we go. That is still not dead, huh? Okay, that should kill it. Alright, but yeah, just go touch the Warg Cave for the fast travel. The hidden treasure is right here on the map, too. Let me take care of this bee real fast. Yeah, just northwest of the Warg Cave. It's right here on the map, and then very simple, you just shove it on into the square peg. Just like you learned as a child. There we go, that'll give us another treasure map. And we can't really maximize these until we hit level 30, but it's best just to go ahead and get them now. And then this treasure map is going to have us go up here, which we're not going to go up here right now. Because there's a level 40 spider boss in a cave, and you can run in and loot it. We can't fight the spider boss, but might as well just knock out 2 birds with 1 stone when we do that one. Once you've got those, go ahead and head to the quest objective. Pretty simple stuff. Nothing complicated. By the way, Ysera that you get to play as here is a frost version of Ornette. Unfortunately, as far as I know, there's no real way to get the frost version of Ornette, but that would be really cool, but it's fine. Ornette's our next main character that we're going to get anyway. Mission 14 is just dialogue, so what we're going to do is we're going to go to this statue now, and just warp to nearby. You should have 2 spots. It'll put you to the closest one. There we go. And, yeah. Run up to the statue, activate it, and this the puzzle's a little bit different. You have to grab objects that are nearby, and what we're going to do is we're going to do some trash clear. These are just level 5 mobs, so they just pretty much die instantly. There we go. Again, just swap to your characters whenever their abilities are off cooldown. You're technically level 20 and pretty overpowered. We still haven't put our gear on, but we will be doing that in a little bit. But essentially what you want to do is you want to get near the statue. And yeah, there it is. And then get to a high up point. So like right up here. And you want to look for the glowing yellow stuff on the ground. And you need to drag those to the statue. Also, statues have their own little puzzle. So again, right here, there's an explosive crate in the way. And I'm just going to tech roll out of that because I don't care. They deal no damage. We're going to push this, get the treasure map as we do. There it is. And again, these chests are very good because they also give you awakening items. So that's always good. Or maybe I'm wrong on that one. No, it's once you do the treasure map, you get the awakening item. Yeah, let's see where this treasure map takes us. Let's see. Yeah, this is the new one here. And that one it's near our next quest, so isn't that convenient? Yes, it is. That's why we did it, right? But essentially, what I'm trying to get at here is that you just get to a high up point, and yes, I saw the red minerals there. We can get it later. You see how there's like a glowing yellow light right in front, right where that goblin is standing? We just grab that off the ground, run it to the statue, and drop it in front of the statue. There's one right there. And I think there's one, like there's at least 3 or 4 usually. Yeah, there's one right there. It's a little bit harder to see, but we'll just fly to it right now. And we did this as a main story quest earlier. The game taught us how to do this, right? So we picked this up. You'll see the light kind of connect to the statue so you don't get lost. And then we just drop it off. And then by doing this, it unlocks another fast travel point. You don't have to get this one if you don't want to. It's just really nice to have for later. And while you don't have to repair these statues, there is a quest that we have to do. We don't have to do it, but it gives us some pretty damn good rewards once we repair 2 of these, and a bunch of other stuff too. It's like a like a starter beginner quest kind of thing in a lot of gacha games, even though this isn't a gacha game. But one great thing about this statue in particular is how close it is to this forest, and this forest is a great source of honey. So you just jump into the trees here, grab the honey, and hopefully your mountain doesn't get stuck like mine just did. But yeah, you can just look up in the trees, grab the honey. This is a cooking ingredient. While you don't really use it for too much, it's still just handy to have if you ever need to farm honey. We're going to talk more about food later in the video, though. Next up, we're going to head straight down to this Iona's Legacy, and we're going to track it so that we can see where we're going in the Shroud. And now we can see it on our mini-map in the top right of the screen. It's right up there at the top of the hill. I'm going to cut to the part where I get there for you. So here's how the puzzle works. We have on the wall here the solution. So west is going to be the 2 spikes, and what we're going to do is look at the pillars. This one's kind of facing north, not exactly. This one's kind of facing west. So we're going to go over here and make it the 2 spiky pillars, just by bonking it until we have the symbol that's showing. There we go. All right, cool. So then we want the northernmost one to be the circle with the line through it, which this one is closest north. So circle with the line through it. Just keep hitting it until it goes. And then the next one after that will be fish and then hourglass. So curving around, this one here will be fish. And then curving around, this one will be hourglass. And that should solve the puzzle here. There we go. Thud, skip. And the tower is now activated. Cool. Now, we're going to continue to get some fast travels because this is going to save a lot of questing time later. There's a lot of quests over here to do. And so we're going to go get this waypoint immediately. But we're on the way, we're going to go ahead and get the Bandit Supply Depot. Then we're going to go down here and activate this statue. But before we do, I just want to mention that this tower is an amazing source for tomatoes. I believe, yeah, you go to the northern part of this little tower and you got some tomatoes. And also, the little key that we got for doing the puzzle, we can open this. It's not a big deal. These chests, they're okay. There's nothing super special in them. Just get some random stuff, whatever. But we're going to go directly south. And then along the south... Oh, over jumped it there. Is some more tomatoes, and then if we go continue south here, we have what is this? This is just mushrooms over here, whatever. But yeah, up here are even more tomatoes, which tomatoes can make a really good healing item, but they're kind of a pain in the butt to farm. But this is like the best source in the game that I have found for tomatoes currently. And on the way to the statue, there is another one of these chests that requires the key that we've been earning so far. So, more loot, always a good thing. There we are. And again, don't worry about the loot right now. It's not a big deal. But again, same thing with this statue. Just grab the glowing pieces, run it up to the statue. There's also a puzzle nearby that we're going to do so that we can get another treasure map. Now, the left side of the statue, or the west side, is where we have this little puzzle here. So we can get ourselves the treasure map. Very simple. Just push it around the rubble. This isn't breakable rubble. Put it in this, square peg in a square hole. And there is our treasure map. Go ahead and pop this sucker open. And then we will... Wow, I am running on no sleep. Go ahead and see where this one's at. That one's going to be up here. And this, I don't think that one's... I'm pretty sure that's a spider cave. And this one's something else. But pretty simple to get. We're going to get that later. No reason to get it right now. Also, another bird egg location is kind of, we're standing on kind of the northeast part of the statue here. There is this tree, and you can just jump up and grab those. Now, for the ones on the ledge, I would use your mount. And mounts walking on trees is a little wonky, but there we go. Easy peasy bird eggs. By the way, the other piece, it's on top of this pillar here, which is like southeast of the statue. You can't climb up it with your mount due to the vines, so you have to jump from a high place and glide to this one. But yeah, if you've been looking around trying to figure out where this is at, it's a lot easier to see these pieces at night, by the way, than it is the daytime for some reason. But yeah, there we go. That's 2 pieces. The final piece is over here on top of this like knoll area. And where am I at? I'm northwest of the statue. It's a pretty long haul, but you can just kind of grab it and then, just run it off like this. And yeah, again, It's gonna hurt. You're gonna take fall damage. It's fine. It's not a big deal, but you can get it back. You don't have to fight any of the mobs. They are higher level than 20 right now, and that's because we're in a higher level zone. I wouldn't bother fighting these mobs. I would just run the piece there. And if you don't want to do this right now for whatever reason, because you're scared of high level mobs, there's not really a death penalty, honestly. It's pretty basic, but you can always do this later. It's completely optional. Just note, you get these purple keys you can open chests with. We can buy those anytime, though. It's not a big deal. You get an extra charge on your heal, and which also isn't that crazy. But what we like is if you go to Merc Guide here, and you go to Chapter 1, restore the Statue of Organa. We need to at least repair 2 of these. You don't have to repair this one, but by completing the task, we can go ahead and claim a bunch of these. You can see I've got 4 out of 8 tasks completed, and when we complete the 8 tasks, we get 50 of these, which is nice. And then Chapter 2, which you can't see right now, will have another gift for doing, you know, random quests and whatnot. Well, they're not really random, they're preset, but you get what I'm saying. You kind of want to get the rewards. From the statue now, we are going to go over here to Spire Rock Mountain tracking, or not tracking, waypoint. I'm just saying what I'm reading out loud here. But this one's a little high up. You can see it's actually up pretty decently, right? And yeah, we're going to have to do a lot of climbing, and it's not going to be the easiest trek to get there, but once we get there, it's going to save us so much time, because the way the game works is we're going to be doing a lot of quests here. And instead of having to go from here all the way here every time, we can just teleport here. There's a fast travel up to here, or like an airlift, and then we just fly down to the quest zone. It saves you so much time to get this right now. But on the way, there is a King of the Marmots minigame that you can do here. And again, this is right here on the corner of this continent, I guess, if you want to call it that. It's kind of small. I guess this would just be a really big island. But it's a flying minigame. And so, again, it's just go ahead and knock this out. These chests are very good rewards, and it's pretty simple to do. This one's not too hard. Again, you just jump your mount through the flying rings. And the game will just kind of direct you where to go. I'm not really pushing any directional buttons here. The game's just doing it for me. And there we go. We're going to fly through the rings. And we got 5 out of 5 rings. Pretty simple stuff. It's going to fly us back now. We'll collect the chest. And yeah, it's just kind of like a little, I don't know. I'm not even pushing nothing. I'm not wiggling the mouse. I'll wiggle the mouse a little bit, but there we go. And boom, free chest. It's basically free. You want to get this, because these are the good chests, alright? They've got the fragments, they've got some crafting stuff, but Stigma Awaken is what we really want. We need a bunch of those. We need about 18 of them. And yes, I know climbing this mountain sucks and it's slow. We're going to get a mount later that will allow us to climb quickly, but we have to complete quests in this area before that mount ever unlocks. Unless you want to go kill 100 squirrels, which takes forever. Or pay money, like $5 to buy the mount off the DLC shop. Just stomach it. Once we get it, it's totally worth it. Also, harpies are going to attack us. They are higher than level 20. They're not much of a threat. Just keep climbing. It's whatever. And we'll eventually get there. Just make sure that anytime you get a flat part, to rest on it and get your stamina back so that you don't fall off like this. So I'm going to let my stamina rest a bit here. There it goes. And then just continue climbing. Also, from this fast travel point, if you face south and don't go up the airlift, there's like a little area down here. It's just like a little grassy area. And we're looking for a shovel at the end of it. Yeah, there's a shovel there. So if you ever see a shovel, you can use it and then dig out a treasure chest. So there we go. And these are the good chests. These are purple chests, all right? So you definitely want to pop these open. And there we go. We got a Stigma Awaken. Remember, we need 18 of those. All right, so now we're going to fast travel back to the Iona's Legacy right here, which is going to allow us to be at the top of the tower. And then we're going to just fly towards Seagull Village, which is right over this way. And getting this waypoint now, you don't have to do it, but it saves you so much time later. Like, there's no reason not to get it. And for me, it's faster if I just land and then boost jump. That way we can carry that momentum, and there we go. Also, if you ever want or need, like, seafood stuff on the ground, there's usually a lot running around. We got crabs. You know, if you get near the shoreline, there's conches and some other things that you can do. So yeah, there's a difference between fish and seafood in this game. Seafood would be like crabs and things in shells, shellfish. Fish is trout and salmon. I call it salmon. I know. All right, it's salmon, whatever. All right, but this is just a really good source of it. And again, we're gonna talk about food later in the video. And yeah, I'm not grabbing that chest because I don't expect you to come over here right now. So we'll just leave it at that. Coming down to this little bottom island little thing here, we have in this corner, there is a shovel. And again, we want to dig these out so we can get those stigma things. Now, this one's not purple, unfortunately, right? But you'll also notice down there, bird eggs. Definitely want to grab those. Go ahead and just fly down and grab those. And we've almost got enough to unlock a bird. I think it's only 10 eggs. I don't remember if it's 10 or 100. But yeah, there's still more stuff to get on this little island here. We're going to go ahead and just do jump attacks to break these rocks. Grabbing this chest. And there's another type of puzzle that I want to show you too. Let's see. It's actually more near towards the entrance of the island. But it is a pressure plate puzzle. You'll see these all the time. There it is. And so the way these puzzles work is usually you have to have 3 of these on at a time. So if you stand on it, it activates. If you don't stand on it, it deactivates. So what you want to do is pick up these rocks, and if you throw this rock and break it or drop it off a cliff, you can simply push escape, go to exit, and then push X to return to title. It'll reset the rock position. All right, but what you do is you take a rock and then you put it out here, and what you're supposed to do, what the game wants you to do, is run around and find the other rock. Like, here's the other rock, right? So, and then you as a player would stand on the final button. But what you can do instead is use a character with a slow animation like Castella, and then we're going to use Whirlwind, and then we're going to switch to Loot while she's whirlwinding, and, well, she kind of spun off it. But essentially what you want to do is have a character with something that casts slowly to stand on the button while you run your other character over. So, like, later in the game, you can make Howling a longer cast. In this case, it's not going to be long, but that's how you would keep a character on the button. You can see that Loot doesn't stay on the button very long, and then unfortunately for Dana, if we summon Choco on the button, which, wow, the summon failed. You put him here. Like, Choco doesn't count as an entity that can push buttons for some reason. I don't know why, unfortunately, but if he did, it would make this puzzle real easy, right? But other than that, just have Castella Whirlwind while you run and push the third button, if you can never not find the other stone. But in this case, this is a pretty easy one, right? This is like a beginner puzzle. But later in the game, they get pretty tough, and the stones get kind of hidden. So there we go. 2 stones. We step on the third one. That summons the chest. And again, purple chests have pretty damn good loot in them, okay? Yeah. So this one didn't have a stigma, but sometimes they do. Just be on the lookout for them. Right, for this statue, it's pretty easy. This one's really simple. The pieces are just kind of all over the place. But over here on the east side is the puzzle. And again, we've already kind of done a puzzle like this. We have rubble blocking a button, so you just smash the rubble with Castella, and then you just push the pieces onto the square pegs. And this one's super deep. Again, we'll get this one later. It's not a big deal. Actually, this one I think is the spider. This one is a fort, which is pretty easy to do, and this one's near the fort. So these 2 are pretty easy to get. And we can't even use these till level 30, so don't worry about them. By the way, this one summons a boss fight. It's pretty easy. It's level 25, but you should be able to take it down as long as you just spam your abilities. But it does eat up a lot of time. Also, I let Dana die. So we'll come back when we're level 30 and smash it really quick. But again, you can do it if you want, even without consumables. But you know, after like 2-3 minutes of pounding on it, I got it to about 66%. So that's not really worth it, just for the fast travel point. Yeah, you do get more, but it'll be there waiting for you. Whenever we come back, it'll be ready to fight once again. All right, so next up, we are going to go to this little tiny island right here, and that's going to have one of the treasures that we got from the treasure map. After that, we will then go to the quest zone. Now, you may be thinking that these like geese are just like decoration. No, they're food. You should always just kill them. I know you might feel bad. Don't kill the geese. Oh my god, poor geese. But on this island also we have a hidden treasure, or not hidden, but the kind that you dig for. We got eggs. These are goose eggs, not bird eggs. And then there's the treasure map treasure. So again, lots of good stuff here. Also some ore. Might as well grab that real quick. Lots and lots of good stuff. Pretty simple, too. Alright, and then the Trench of Secrets. Once we get some consumables, we can dive down here. There's some treasure, but nothing too crazy. But that's way later in the game. Don't worry too much about that. Just remember, Trench of Secrets. You want to swim down there. Alright, now we can go to the Altar of the Dragon. Now, also near the altar is another one of these chests with the key that we should have. There we go. And again, more loot. We got some mushrooms nearby, also pretty good. And now we can, before we go into the temple, of course, we're going to do a few things. We're going to level Loot to 20, because we do want him to be at, you know, at least useful, whatever. We're not going to be using him for much longer, though. Unfortunately, he gets pretty, like, he can become pretty good at super in-game, but only against single target. He's not really an AoE guy. But everyone else is now a level 20. And so what we're going to do is we're going to do a little bit of equipment stuff here. We're going to click on the helmet icon, and we're going to look for stats. This one is defense, and this one is attack. Attack is priority 1, HP priority 2, defense priority 3. Attack, HP, defense, in that order. Alright, don't worry about the quality or the grade or the star value. Who cares? Don't worry about that. Don't worry about what else unlocks. We don't care. We just care about the base stat right here, so that is attack. Go ahead and pop that sucker on. Let's go to armor. We have critical damage reduction and max HP. Max HP, equip it, okay? Pants. Crit damage reduction, max HP, equip that. Alright, gloves with defense or attack. Attack. Boots. Attack power up percent. Percent attack power up would be, it's really good in game, but early game we don't have a lot of attack, so the percent does almost nothing. Critical hit chance is also, this is flat critical hit chance, not 2% added to 5%. It's going to be 5% plus 2.5. I worded that stupidly, but like some games when you boost your crit chance, it's a percent boost to the base percent, if that makes sense. So we definitely want crit chance. So now we have gear, and now we're just going to go to Castella and then quick equip everything else we didn't put on. So she's got the slop gear on, okay? We don't need to upgrade the gear, we just want to put it on. Next up, we are going to go to exchange, and then we're going to go down here to karma. We're not doing exclusive karma. You don't worry about this until the end of the game, okay? It's a stat loss, and the abilities that they unlock may sound cool. They're marginally useful at best. I would say the best one is Castella's to get early, but you don't need it. You just don't need it for anything. It's better to stack as much crit rate as possible. So we're going to go to Karma, and we're going to buy, or we're going to spend 30 of our little gems here that we have been getting from the treasure chests on a frost-based one that's going to give us crit. So we have Frozen Fortress and Rock Splitting Ice. If we go to Frozen Fortress and click the magnifying glass, you can see it's just frost damage 12%. We don't want that, okay? Whereas Rock Splitting Ice, this one here, is crit hit chance plus 7%, frost damage plus 6%, okay? This is the one we want to buy, so we're going to buy this one. We're going to go ahead and exchange it. There we go. And now we also want to buy one for Castella. And so Castella is this little gray-white icon here. This is the breaker icon. And I believe she wants Way of the Wild. We want the one with crit rate, critical hit chance. 6%. Let's check the other ones just to make sure. No, that one has no crit, and this one has no crit either. We want the one with critical hit rate, critical hit chance. So that would be the Way of the Wild. So we're going to exchange that. And what a karma is, it's essentially our weapon. Think of it like our weapon, okay? We're going to now back out of the menu, go to Hero. We're going to go to Dana, go to Karma, and then select it here. And the game's just going to explain what karma is. Yeah, there's a lot going on there. But to keep it simple, this is just flat stat boosts, right? By equipping Rock Splitting Ice at level 1, we get 96 attack, 16 defense, 432 max HP. All right, go ahead and equip that. And then we want to level it up. And if you've been opening the chests, you should have some of these. All right, we're going to go ahead and pump that up to level 20, giving us pretty much double the stats. So that's hella good, okay? And early game, we're not going to be able to pump this up very much. But just from what we've opened on chest-wise, we can absolutely. Now we go to Castella, and we're going to do the same thing. Equip hers, the Way of the Wild. Equip that, and then we're going to, again, level that all the way up. And we got to level 20 on both. You might or might not, depending on your chests, how closely you've been following along, all right? So with those 2 stat boosts, we are now ready to rock and roll. We are not going to buy one for loot here. And the reason why is that almost everything in the game, when you break it down, you get a full refund, except for karma. All right, and then these items, while they're not technically... They kind of are infinite once you can farm karma and break them down. We can't do that till like level 50, all right? Or it's not ideal to do it till 50. So these are a finite resource up until then. You only get them from treasure chests and doing what's called Tower of Trials. We'll activate that later. But because we're going to be low level, like, your level is stuck low until you do the main story quest. We can't really do much of Tower of Trials until we hit level cap and complete the main story. So, again, these are rather limited, so we want to spend them wisely, alright? But with those 2, this dungeon will be an absolute breeze. And doing the dungeon is going to give us a full set of gear. So, again, super simple. Again, we've got the right party. And then just in a little bit, we're going to get another new party member to replace loot with. And then we're going to pump her up. And it's going to be massive AoE damage. The game's about to get super easy. Now, this dungeon has a little bit of puzzles, but it's real simple stuff. You already know square goes into the square hole. There is... Again, you don't need my help for this. I think a first grader could figure this stuff out. But I know someone's going to get stuck on this, so I'll show you the solution. So from the waypoint, staring at the door, this door will be closed. Turn to your right. You're going to smash this wall. There we go. And then you're going to run up the stairs. Go over here. And then you're going to smash this wall. And you just push this into the square hole, of course. Then you push that one into the square hole. And then that opens the door. Very simple. For the second puzzle, from the waypoints, you're going to push the pillar onto this one here. And then this opens the door, allowing you to push the pillar outside of the door to unlock another door. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to push this one out. And then we're going to push it to the leftmost one here, just like that. There we go. That's going to unlock the door right here, opening this path. And you'll notice now that that one is blocked. So, with this pillar still on this one, because we need that door open, we're then going to push this pillar off, because we don't need that door anymore. And we're going to shove this into the other section over here, like so. And that's going to open the door that we need. So now when we go in here, we can push this pillar through the door. And then we just keep pushing, and then the hole is right here on the right. So when we push it on this one, this will open the main door that we need. And the camera will adjust so you can see where we're standing and the door we need to go through. Very simple. So that means we just continue this way and through the door. Again, super easy puzzle. So mission 16 is just dialogue, but at the start of mission 17, you'll be in the palace. You can run behind the throne and grab yourself a blue chest there. Not too bad. It's got some stuff in it. Nothing too crazy, though. Don't worry, the other quests are just dialogue also, but on mission 18, once you're forced to lose the fight as Johnny, go ahead and grab the waypoint here and the treasure chest. But yeah, this is just another dungeon. Again, it's just a fast travel point to grab. Also, since we're close by, we'll go ahead and grab the warp point that is just north on the small little island. It's just a few hops away. Not a big deal. Just, you know, just jump on over, do a little glide, and see, we're already there pretty much. While running over to talk to Ewald, go left and grab the little crappy brown chest here. But a lot of people miss it because they just beeline straight to him. Alright, and with mission 20 complete, you now get Ornette as a party member. And she's got some massive AoE abilities, okay? And so we definitely want to use her for crowd control. She also does very good damage over time to big enemy bosses due to her area attacks just sticking to the ground. Again, she is one of the characters that you just pop in, pop her abilities, and they're going to linger on the battlefield and deal tremendous damage once you have her built up. But a lot of people don't realize that you have to level up her abilities and you have to unlock them through Awakening and all the other stuff. And once you do that, then she will have big potential. But what we're about to do next is we're going to be increasing our level cap, which is going to make farming the open world and just moving around a lot easier. So we're going to immediately replace Loot here with Ornette. And she is lightning-based, aerial, and down. So she does synergize with our other characters, alright? And this now lets us stack 2 different elements on enemies. When you have 2 different elements stacked, Castella can armor break them even faster than before. And so the way that our characters are going to be working is Dana is your opener with her summon, which will proc Castella and Ornette's abilities, and then you basically run Ornette, dump all of her abilities, and that's going to clean up pretty much every small fry trash mob fight in the game. But if there's harder enemies or enemies still persist, like in special dungeons, then you swap back to Dana and stack up her Frost, and then that's going to proc Castella again, and then Ornette's abilities will be off cooldown to proc once again. So you basically just rotate Dana, Castella, Ornette, Dana, Castella, Ornette. And it's pretty simple. Sometimes you go Dana, Castella, Ornette, Castella. It really depends on the enemy's like status. But Ornette's going to be cleaning up a lot of things, and she's going to be your second highest damage dealer. The only reason Ornette does not deal more damage than Dana is because Dana has her summon that also does tremendous AoE damage. So while her summon is dealing AoE damage, Dana can be also attacking with dash attacks. And so Dana is your top DPS, then Ornette, and then Castella is your single target DPS and kind of just extra assist. However, on some bosses, you're going to be using Ornette to just stick to an enemy because she can latch onto them and stab them. And so it'll be rotating between Dana and Castella to break the boss's armor faster. But now that we have Ornette, first things first, we're going to level her up to 20, which you should have more than enough items to do. There we go. Then we need to get her crit-based regular Karma. You already know how to do that. We go to Exchange. We go to Karma. We look for the lightning one. There's 3 different lightning ones here. And so, yeah, I got some hiccups. This one has crit chance 7, shock damage 6. All right, this one has shock damage. Who cares? And then this one is crit 9, shock damage 5. We want this one, a Flash of Invention, because it has more crit chance. So we're going to buy that one right away. There we go. And then we're going to, again, equip this to Castella. I'm sorry, equip this to Ornette. There we go. Go ahead and pop that on and then level it up. And we got that to level 20, giving her pretty good stats. Now, for gear, same thing. We already have some decent gear on this character here, Dana. But we just got a gear set. And so we're just going to quick equip it for now. Quick equip. There we go. That'll apply all the stuff that we have. And let's see what, again, your rolls are always going to be different. Let's see what we got. We got max HP up, crit damage reduction, max HP up on boots, max HP. So we got 3 out of 5 max HP with 2 dead slots here, the armor and the glove. So we need to replace armor and glove ASAP, but not right now. It's not a super important big deal. Except we want to claim some rewards here. We're going to go to Quest, and we're going to go to Adventure. Chapter 1's done, so we're just going to claim all the coins from that. There we go. Chapter 2 is also done, so claim all the coins for that. You can see where this is going here. And then Chapter 3, we just started. Bond, well, technically I haven't started yet, because we've activated some of the towers. Alwyn here's got a few rewards. We can go ahead and just claim those. And again, it's like your usual gacha stuff. Just claim all the rewards, right? Now, we have main story quest right here. This is number 21. But we also have this orange quest called Mercenary Corps. And we want to do the promotion exam. And what this does is once we do it, we can now become level 30. But it will also make the world stronger. But we have an opportunity to level down the world by 1, which we will do because it doesn't mess with any of the chests or rewards. The game says it does. It doesn't for static rewards. It will affect monster drops, but random monster loot drops isn't important right now. So what is important is progressing as fast as possible. So we're going to go ahead and do the Mercenary Corps promotion exam here, talking to this guy and so on. So let's see where the quest takes us. Talk to Anne, the guild receptionist, and this just explains promotion quest. You can read it on your own when you're playing the game, but continue this quest line. Now, on the way to this quest, we're going to stop at this dungeon and just grab it so we have a fast travel. Now, when you're at this dungeon, make sure that you select the mercenary promotion exam and not the goblin village, because then that won't do it. So we're going to go ahead and do the challenge here. Again, we have Ornette, Castella, and Dana all level 20, all with karmas that are level 20, and their gear is level 0, the gear is whatever. Don't worry about the gear. Now, here's how to play Ornette. So what you're going to do is you're going to open with the E spell, and right now, this doesn't stay on the ground very long, but it will later once we level up. After that, while that's down, we're going to push Q and then let her do the 2 swings. Now, you can animation cancel by rolling, and so as soon as that second swing comes out, that's when you animation cancel. The only attack you should be doing with Ornette, if others aren't up and available, is your dash attack. So your dash attack looks like this. It's just a swipe, and you just spam that. Now later we can add another swipe that's pretty wide and powerful, but until then you just do the 2 swipes when you dash. And the reason we only use that attack is because it builds shock stacks, which allows us to do our other abilities. And that's basically it for playing Ornette. Now, before going and turning in the mercenary quest, run down here to the bottom right and grab the Coastal Cliff Cave Outpost. Alright, by passing the exam, we can now be level 30 and most of our stuff. You also get a new mount here. This thing lets you air dash, but it eats up so much stamina. This thing is not worth using over what we currently have. You can equip it and play around with it if you want, but it's just not worth it right now. But one thing that you want to do is go to Merc Crew and go down here to Adventure Difficulty and then downgrade. And this just makes the open world mobs lower leveled. It does not affect quest mobs or quest zones. It does not affect dungeons. And the only downside is that the mob drops won't be as upgraded, but we still want the lower mob drops, and we can transmute them to higher ones. It's just overall more efficient to run around the open world with lower level mobs than it is higher level ones. Also, we've been leveling our mercenary level, so you can just go ahead and in this screen here collect all the rewards. So you can see, there we go, bunch of stuff there, and as you level you'll continue to get more stuff. It's whatever. As far as grade goes, when we hit intermediate, we get a really good mount. This one lets you jump up walls, and that's kind of what we're trying to beeline, is just to get this damn mount as fast as possible, because it really makes the open world just travel and getting around so much faster. Alright, now that we can get above level 20, we need to do that immediately. So we're going to hit the breakthrough button now. And we don't have these materials, right? And if you hold left click, it'll tell you where to get them. So we can go to a dungeon called the Underground Goblin whatever, Underground Goblin Village. You can see this is the material it drops, and it's located right there. So we'll go run the dungeon real quick. Yes, you can also just kill goblins in the open world and they'll drop these. However, it's just way faster to run the dungeon, and you get gear. So there's just no reason to grind open world mobs ever, unless you're trying to get a certain treasure chest or something. But most of the time the loot sucks, and it's a waste of time. And unlike the dungeons we've had to do in the story mode, this just, we run up and kill some mobs, and that's basically it. You just run up, you kill low level mobs, and yeah, everything's just gonna die super duper quick. And again, just spam your abilities, cast everything you can, and again, while you're casting, swap those characters, cast your spells, and that's it. You just kill mobs in this one. You don't have to run through the whole dungeon. Now, also, you'll see there's a 0 out of 2 treasure chests here on the map, so you do want to check your side corners and little areas and open those chests. Once you open them, if you repeat the dungeon, you don't get to open them again, so they're just a one-time thing. Now, one thing important about the dungeon is that you need to loot the chest before you leave, okay? So make sure you do that, because sometimes, you know, people forget. I forget. And now that we have the required materials to break through, we're going to go ahead and do that. There we go. And now we just hit max, and we might or might not have enough to level her up to 30, but there's a way to farm that now too. I'll get to that once we need it. You'll notice, hey, we got another breakthrough, but we have to, again, do a mercenary core mission rank to rank up, so we're stuck at level 30 for a while. That's fine. After that, we're going to go ahead and level up her karma. Also, it does require an item for a breakthrough, which is these things. Now, you can mine these in the wild, but it's so much easier just to exchange them for these little medals, which we have plenty of. So I'm just gonna buy 10 because other characters are gonna need them too. That's gonna cost me 20 medals, and we have 27 right now. These medals are infinitely farmable, and if we do side quests, we get a ton of these, and we're gonna get a ton of these soon. So again, don't be afraid to spin these right now. So we're gonna go ahead and break through that now. And again, these are limited, and the game won't let us farm Karma XP for a little bit until we get deeper into the story. But for now, we can push it to 25. And if we go farm chests, we can get more of these, but it's just not really worth it. With that said now, so this is as strong as Dana is going to be for just a little while. Now we're going to go over to Ornette and do the same thing. She requires these little bones or whatever, Monster Claw. So where do we get that? The Warg Cave. Well, remember we unlocked that earlier? Time to go do that one now. And again, we're getting loot as we do this. And depending on what loot we get, we might or might not upgrade some of it. And with level 30 Dana, the dungeon clear times are so fast. Even though she's not even close to being at full power. So again, leveling up your other characters just gets easier and easier the stronger that they are. Alright, now Ornette can break through. There we go. Do we have enough mats to get her level 30? We do. Awesome stuff. On into Castella now. Let's see. Let's see what she needs. She needs these things. Lowest grade monster essence. And again, that's from the Goblin Bandits Cave. So we got to go get that one now. Now I didn't grab it earlier for some reason. So we're gonna warp pretty close to it. And yeah, it's just down below. Look at that. Oh, look, there's also a puzzle here we could do real quick. Might as well, right? Let's see if we can do it with the whirlwind method. So we're gonna drop the stone. We're going to whirlwind and swap. So Q3, and then just run over and got it. No need to find that second stone. Super easy. Awesome stuff. All right, I am on the wrong mount. But yeah, another dungeon coming right up. Super simple. With that dungeon done, oh wait, we already did Ornette. I meant Castella here. Yeah, with that dungeon done, we can now break through Castella, level her up to 30, and there we go. Now let's say you don't have enough of these materials to level her up. Alright, so what you're going to do instead is right over here on this dungeon. This dungeon rewards these combat text books, and so you go over here and you run this dungeon. And it's even faster than these other dungeons. You literally run into a single room, kill a bunch of mobs, and it's over in like 30 seconds. Super quick and easy. And if you're bored and you just want to do a little bit of grinding, it doesn't hurt to go do this, because when you do the first level, it unlocks the second level, which gives you the better books, which is level 30, and so on, and at level 45 and whatnot. So, you know, I'm just going to go ahead and knock this out real quick and get a few extra books. There is a side quest to, well, we can get the side quest now, but we're not going to do it now to actually do this dungeon. So don't just sit here and grind a bunch. I just did it once for the completion, but we will be doing it later for a side quest. Next up, while on Ornette, we're going to break through her Karma real quick. We don't have the materials, again, to level this up. We have 9, which is not even a single level, so don't worry too much about it. But there's a few other things we're also going to level. So in the exchange shop here, we're going to go to Hero and then Awaken. And every time you get 200 of these stones, these are the Fragment of Sacred Light. You get these from just missions. And a few other things, like I believe chests also drop them sometimes. You're just going to exchange it for these. And there we go. We got 3 there. And we got a bunch earlier from chests. So let's see how many we actually have right now. But if we go to Awaken, and this talks about Hero Awakening here. This is what we're going to be doing. We actually have 9 of them. So here is what we're going to be doing. We're going to be putting all 6 into Ornette. And so what this does, this gives your Holy Cross, which is your dash attack, an extra attack. And then it gives you raw stat, like attack power. Holy Circle, it will last a lot longer. And yeah, so then we also get more down damage, more shock damage and defense penetration. And then we also get Judgment will pull in enemies only slightly. It won't super clump them like other MMORPGs. And this is not an MMORPG, right? But it also leaves a circle on the ground which will shock enemies once you do your Judgment attack, which you can activate once you shock an enemy. And so this just all of this massively increases her damage and AoE potential. So we're just going to, and you have to do it all in order. You don't get to pick. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and, well, 5 and 6. This leaves us 3 more to do. So next up, we're going to take Dana to 3. So we're going to go to Hero, go to Dana, go to Awaken. And her level 1 is Frozen Sparkle, so now whenever Chaco uses his punches, it'll hit faster and deal more. On the third one, whenever you summon Chaco, it will be fully charged, which is really nice. So what that looks like is that the little bar above Chaco when you summon him is his charge. So now he gets a full meter, which is really great. Also, he's much bigger when he's fully charged, and that's going to scale later, making his damage even higher. You can see when he loses charge, he gets smaller, the spikes or whatever. But, yeah, very, very cool. Now, it does not apply when you summon him as a shield, by the way. Only when you summon him with your Q ability. But because we're level 30, we can also unlock our middle ability. So we're going to go to Castella first. And we're going to unlock her Rage Elf's Sprint. Alright, so this is her shoulder charge. And the best way to demonstrate just how good this is to show you on some mobs. So I'm going to go find some goblins to shoulder charge. So this is her shoulder charge normally. On a level 10 mob, 800, 500, 2 hits. We did hit the armor break, 500, 500, 800, 800 when it crits. So again, it's whatever. Now, these things can't kill me while I'm doing this. Now we're going to unlock the middle skill. There we go. And can't do it. Of course we can't do it during combat. Why would we be able to, right? Alright, here we go. Now we can unlock it. And that uses 10 of those grimoires we get from the hidden treasure maps. So now with this unlocked, it hits a lot more. And it breaks armor even faster. So check this out. And in the beta, this was the default. Like, there we go. So, well, okay, that's 4 hits, that's 3 hits. But again, it basically doubles the efficiency of it. Also, shoulder charge does increase your armor, and the most important thing is it breaks their armor faster, which puts them in a broken state, which activates your other character's abilities. So, again, pretty damn useful. Next up, unlock Ornette's middle skill. Right here, and this does Holy Cutter. This is also your dash attack, so we will unlock that. And what it does is when you left click now, while doing your dash attack, you can do a bigger sweep. So we do that big slash there, and this builds up lightning stacks very, very quickly. So super powerful stuff, very, very useful. But now it's time to check gear once again, because we've been getting a lot of gear from those dungeons. So we're going to go to Dana, and we're going to check her gear. So we have attack on helmet, attack, max HP, crit hit chance, and max HP. So she's pretty much done for now. We just want to make sure we have the basics on everyone before we start getting picky with it. So helmet, max HP, that's percentage. Percentage doesn't help too much, but we can let it slide. Crit damage reduction. So gloves, we have one set of gloves that is not currently equipped. What does it do? Crit damage. And well, that's better than what we have, so we'll just swap it there. Alright, chest piece is crit reduction. We have no chest pieces currently to swap out with. Boots are max HP percent up. Unfortunate. What is this one? Max HP. Flat max HP better. We'll swap to that. What about helmet? Let's check this helmet real quick. Max HP. Yeah, it's the same. It's just the same helmet. Though the set bonus is different. Attack power up versus max HP up by percent flat. So, whatever. Max HP up percent. Now we have a bunch of pants here we can check. So let's see. We have crit resist, who cares? Crit damage is okay. Crit hit chance is really good. Attack power up percent. So the crit hit chance is the winner here. So we'll go and swap that. And we're not going to worry about the set bonuses right now. We don't care. We'll farm dungeons later and get more crit through set bonuses and craft gear for elemental damage bonuses, but that's not important right now. And finally, we'll do the same to Castella here, who's got flat defense on helmet, max HP up percent. We'll take flat defense on gloves, crit damage reduction on chest. Again, the chest pieces aren't that good. The boots, attack power up percent versus max HP. It's about the same. Who cares? And now crit damage reduction, max HP, crit damage, or attack power up. We're going to go with just max HP. And again, you don't have to be super picky. You don't have to worry too much about it. Alright, now there are other upgrades we could do. We could farm gear, we could level up skills, but those are all very marginal right now. We don't need to do them. just continue the main story so that we can unlock more game options. All we need to do is unlock the ability to level up Karma and farm for that gear without having to hunt for chests. So, again, just continue the story. After talking to, I don't know if it's Cersei or Cerise, if you go upstairs, there's a blue chest to grab. Also, this room isn't entered very often, so if you want to get the side quest from Rosa here, you can go ahead and do that, but I wouldn't worry about doing it until much later. You do get an initial reward, so there's just really no reason not to, but it's just easier to grab it now. I bet you're wondering, why does my sound cut in and out whenever I'm doing these little clips, and that is because the game doesn't play music or sounds when you Alt-Tab, and I have to Alt-Tab out of the game to be able to stop recording, okay? For defeating the mutant slime, it likes to spend a lot of time underwater, which your characters can't really fight. So you can just sit on the shoreline with Dana and just do charge left-click attacks, or whatever you got, honestly, until it dies. It's kind of an annoying quest, but yeah, if you don't have a ranged character, you have to kite them out of the water. Now, before you beeline the next main story quest, there is a little backpack right here that you can click on. And the mercenaries are just kind of north of the pond here, so you can just run over, talk to them, and turn in that backpack, and pretty easy little quest chain. Now, also before you leave at the waterfall, there is a blue chest. It's inside the waterfall here. It's a little hard to see, but there it is. And also, just this general area, there's blue crystals, purple crystals up here on top of the waterfall. There's Aqua Lily you can farm all around here. There is the Fruit of Lives, and if you ever want to target farm items, all you got to do is when you're in the area, you just log out, return to title screen, right? And then you just reload the game, and then all the harvestables are back. So, super simple way to farm. Also, it resets to daytime, so you can see here that the Aqua Lily is back, the random blob or slime, whatever, is back. Just kill it in one hit. Break the crystals. And again, all the farm is back, so if you want to target farm some of these items that you may need for crafting or upgrades, again, great spot for it. And I've got a lot of great spots of how to farm certain items later in the video, especially when we talk about cooking and other crafts. But yeah, I really like these for the Fruit of Vitality. I think I called it Fruit of Life, but yeah, it's just overall a really good spot. There are a few better spots, not exactly for these materials, but just for other materials. And again, I'm going to talk about those when we need them and when it's more relevant to the video. But I just want to let you know, since you're here, and these are a little awkward to farm, but if you just do jump attacks, you should be able to summon a whirling vortex and break them pretty easily. Oh no, I'm stuck underground. I'm going to drown. But yeah, very, very good spot for just, again, target farming. Oh look, travel to Seagull Village. Hey, we got that fast travel earlier when it was convenient, so again, just saved a whole lot of time for you, didn't I? By the way, if you didn't kill this, boss here, now that you're level 30, it's a lot easier. So, mission 25, we already have the fast travel to get there quickly. If we use our mount and jump on this airlift, we can go up top here, and every time you go up here, you want to make sure that you grab these white dew blossoms. These are a 3-star herb ingredient, and you're going to be coming up here a lot as you do these quests. But also, there's a blue chest we just want to go ahead and grab. Very nice. And essentially what you want to do is you just want to jump off the top here and just fast fall. There is no fast fall, but just fall down and glide right before you land. That way you don't take any fall damage, and that's the quickest way to get here. So mission 26 has you go right here and climb to the top to get some sort of essence of water. Now this place has a lot of 3-star herbs. It also has a lot of squirrels, and squirrels drop walnuts and peanuts. There's these things, these primordial seeds. There's just a lot of good stuff up here. There's also foxes. So it's a great place to farm. And again, you can reset this damn near infinitely, just well, technically infinitely. Just log out, log in, close the game, reopen the game, and grab all the loot. Now, there's not that many animals up here right now, but if you log out and back into it, then there's a lot more. Fox meat's not too much, but you do get a reward for killing 100 foxes, so it is something that you're going to want to eventually do. But again, there's a lot of squirrels that spawn up here, and so it's a great place to farm walnuts. But also these white dew blossoms, or yeah, dew blossoms. That's what you really want to target farm. And again, walnut is a 3-star nut. You have Leaf of Vigor. I said that weird. Also, a King of the Marmots quest, might as well get it done too. Also, make sure you explore this island fully, grab all the resources, kill all the geese, dig up all the treasure, do all the puzzles. You want to get all the loot over here. Now, to do this quest here for Morales, the Silverwing Lean Meat, all you got to do is switch to your character that has the swimming mount, which I believe would be Dana for me. And then when you go underwater, you can use the dive ability to go faster. And you're looking for a school of fish, which I don't see any. But what you do is you just dash towards the fish and mash your loot key, and then you'll loot them. And the silverwing fish, it's just a bunch of small fishes that swim in like a school. And if you swim around enough, you can eventually find them. But yeah, it's something you can do just whenever. The quest reward is just for those medals, so you don't have to do it if you don't want to. But if you're a completionist, you just be aware. Also, for this puzzle, there are no rocks, but there are certain sheep you can pick up and put down. And that's how you complete that one. Just, not all the sheep are lootable or pick upable, I suppose. So you just have to run around and mash F until you find the right one. Also, you can find silverwing fish near Bardock over here. So, well, we gotta get deeper water because this is all kind of shallow, but they should be around here. Also, sunken chest there. Again, there's just lots of little things. Oh, yeah, see, there's a school of fish there, so we'll swap, and we'll just dash at them while mashing the loot key, and that gave us 3 silverwing fillets, which is a 3-star fish. Salmon's a 4-star fish, but it's only... Like, fish recipes, they're okay, but you don't really have to craft best in slot if you don't want to. And again, I'm going to go over food crafting and all that stuff later when it becomes relevant, because right now we're still too early in the game for consumables to really matter or make much of a difference. At the end of mission 30, you unlock Cerise or Circe, I don't know how to pronounce this, but essentially, a lot of people think she's good, but the problem is with her Ice Storm, it lifts enemies into the air, and a lot of your teammates, unless they're aerial, like, specialists, can't hit them when it's in the tornado. And the tornado's a DPS loss. Frozen Spike has a long cast time for a shit payoff. Frozen Needles is way weaker than a lot of other character abilities. Her dash attack is one of the worst in the game. I don't think this character is good. My first playthrough, I played as this character and maxed her out and did everything I could to make her as dominant as possible, and she's just crap. She's just bad. Sorry, that's just the truth. When you're on mission to 32 and Johnny's just kind of staring at the grave, if you face west-ish, well, there's a shovel here, so you can go grave robbing. Oh boy, blue chest. Heck yeah. I know, not really. On mission 34, Cerise will be here in this cave, and you definitely want to talk to her and do her side quest, because it's a very useful one, and it's going to give you a lot of power later down the line. But you can run back and actually get the... what is it? Yeah, we got to inspect a few things here. Pretty basic stuff. And then we can get a waypoint, and then we can get a Tower of Trials, which lets us farm some pretty good currency to get more karma, to awaken our karma and get a lot of crit rate. So again, you just want to beeline this little side quest line as quick as possible, grabbing the fast travel points so you can always come back here. And when you go into this portal, this is the Tower of Trials. And the cool thing about the Tower of Trials is it acts as a free heal when you do it. Alright, not when you go through this portal, but when you go through one of these 3 doors to actually do... basically, it's like a mob grind where you have different floors you gotta clear. The game will explain it to you or whatever, right? But to continue along for the side quests, we need to do the blue door here. And every time you enter this, even if your party is dead, it will revive them. Alright, and the rewards are absolutely amazing, so I don't know why it defaults as loot. That's not how we want to do things. Actually, no, I don't like that order. We go 1, 2, 3 in that order. There we go. Alright, cool. That way I don't mess up my buttons. But essentially, you want to come here when you're higher level, but you just want to get this side quest line out of the way. Now, the mobs are level 40, and we're only 30, but we're pretty strong here. And so I was able to 3-star this. You beat it under a minute, you get the 3 stars. And yeah, for doing the side quest, I do believe we get a material to get the dedicated karma for the characters that give a special ability, but we're not going to be using those yet. But let's see. Yeah, if we get 2 more stars, we can unlock this. Again, there's a lot of grinding to do here, but you want to come back when you're higher level and a lot better geared, because the mobs just they crank up in difficulty so fast. But we're gonna exit the portal now. Just anytime you need to heal, you can fast travel here, enter one of the dungeons, and then exit the dungeon without ever having to do it. And yes, this is just a hologram. He's not actually still alive or whatever. But yeah, this item right here, this little whirling thoughts, that's how we craft the dedicated karmas. You can see here if we go to exchange and karma and exclusive karma. Well, in order to get one, hold on, we need this piece, the fragment of afterimage, but you have to transmute it. So yeah, that's one of the 2 ingredients. The other ingredients you can just pay metals for. It's not a big deal. But these whirling thoughts, they're very hard to get, and you have to get pretty progress deep into the Tower of Trials here in order to get them. So that's why it's an in-game farm, and we're too low-leveled and too weak to really make much use of it right now, so there's no reason to do it. On mission 34, you can go ahead and pick up this warp point. It doesn't really serve much purpose, but it is on the way, so might as well grab it. And there's a lot of treasure out here. Like there's a molehill there you can do. We'll get that later. We're just gonna continue to beeline the main story for now. On mission 35, you will pass by one of these Statue of Organas. And the pieces are pretty easy to find on this one. Just climb up to the top here. The first one is going to be on that ledge east, and then even further kind of southeast, you know, near the beach where there's some goblins. There's the second piece. The third piece is right here in the little courtyard. And the fourth piece is on the northern edge above it. So pretty simple stuff. And also the puzzle area is just, it's super close. It's connected to it almost. It's on the side here. I forget which side. It's been about 10 hours since I've replayed through the game here. Oh yeah, there it is. So the eastern side along the water here, the puzzle is, it's pretty simple. It's just 2 pillars. You push them in the square spots. Not that hard. And the location of this treasure map is right where we spawned in the game. This is the start of the game, and this is that rock that was like behind us on the beach. So very easy to get to. Just go pick it up whenever. Now on the way to that treasure map, we fast traveled here from this tower going west, and underneath the tree is a buried treasure. There we go. Just a brown one, but hey, I thought I'd point it out because if I don't, someone in the comments will be like, hey, you missed your chest. Right? I don't know why they do that. But yeah, we're back to the start of the game where it all began. And this is a pretty good one too. It also lets us upgrade our character if I can land correctly. Oh boy. Alright, and there we go. Good stuff. Yay. Yeah, the Stigma Awakening and the Groom Wars. So now what we can do is we can go ahead and get the middle skill here. This one's not as useful as the others, but again, 10% defense whenever you use the Chaco Shield, which you rarely use. You're almost always on the offensive anyway, but might as well unlock it for completion's sake. But yeah, that is everyone's middle skill done. And by the way, for these things here, the Stigma Awakened Stones, you want to work on Castella, and her first upgrade's really useful. It gives you your stun blow, extra hits, and more knockdown, which is nice. Her third one is Howling, which is whatever, but it does reduce defensive enemies, making all of your other characters deal more damage. And then number 6, her Whirlwind, just super armor breaks faster. She spins faster. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. And then after that, you would take Dana from 3 to 6, because her level 6 skill just lets Chaco spin more. And you're already going to be constantly spinning anyway, because by the time Chaco is done whirlwinding, you can cast another whirlwind anyway. And remember to go into your quest menu here and pick up your rewards every once in a while, because you'll get a bunch of coins, right? So you always want to be checking this out. If you see any gift boxes, like this is, why won't it let me scroll left? There it is. Yeah, look at all that money. That's 200k easy, right? Super worth it. trophies also. These will also just give you random titles and stuff. So again, this title gave us 50 max HP. You want to be collecting these anytime they light up. That way you can just, you know, be on top of gaining more stats. And of course, every like 5 levels on the Mercenary Core, you get 100 of these. I'm pretty sure it's every 5 levels. Yeah, that's 20, 25, 30. And yeah, it eventually turns into some of these too. But again, super useful stuff. And of course, every time that you have 200 of these, you want to buy the Stigma Stones. And don't worry, we're going to go down here and we're going to spin some of this shortly, but not exactly at the moment. So if you've been following along, we awakened Ornette to 6, we then awakened Dana to 3, and now Castella to 3. And since we've been questing, we can now increase Dana's Karma to level 30, so we'll go ahead and level that up, giving her even more power. And yeah, we still have more to go, but our other characters also need to be leveling their Karmas when we get a chance, so we go to Ornette, and get to 25, that's fine. It's something. Now, while still on mission 35, we can go over here to the side, and we can activate the warp point, so yay. But other than that, you'll also notice that even though it's shrouded at the moment, we need to go get some of these reveals, that inside the fortress, and we have to climb to get this one, is another treasure map. Also, we got some mushrooms here. These are actually really good mushrooms to farm. Anytime you travel to this fast travel point, you can just grab a few. 1 mushroom is 1 revive, by the way. We're going to talk about that later when we talk about food. Also, when you climb the primary main front gate, we have another one of these moon key chests that we, you know, sometimes want to like, but sometimes the loot inside is just garbage, whatever. You know, in this case, not so much. I don't know if they're random or if they're static. I haven't logged what every chest drops, and I'm probably not going to, because it's... I mean, this game barely has 20,000 players on Steam, so I don't really see it, you know, getting a lot. But we definitely want to get the treasure map chest here, because, again, that's how we power up our characters. Let's see what we get. Well, we got a Karma and a Stigma, so that's it's worth it. So, I'm not sure if that's random loot, because I swear I've opened that chest before and didn't get that Karma. But if you happen to get a random Karma that isn't one of the 3 that we're using, you can break it down. You just go to inventory, go to Karma, and like here, oh yeah, I definitely got this on my other playthroughs. So yeah, you always get this one. But you can hit this little hammer icon, and we're going to disassemble it. Well, we got to select it first and then disassemble, and this is going to give us materials. This one also is for leveling Karma, which is we desperately need right now. But yeah, with those gems, we can now exchange for more Karma, right? So we have 235, and each of these costs 30, and we're going to be buying duplicates so that we can ramp up our damage. So rock splitting ice, and I'll show you this. We'll go ahead and buy 6. There we go. Awesome. And now, whenever I go to Dana, and I go to Karma, I can go to Progress, and then I can go to Ascension. And you can see here, we have Pre-Ascension, +1, level 1, and you can see that the crit and the damage will go up quite a lot. And you can see, if I use 6 of these, I hit Ascension level 6, giving us 35% crit chance and 30% additional damage. And there we go, it is now Ascension 6. So what that means is that it's maxed out. You can see here, Ascension level 6 is the highest. It's, we went from 9% crit to 35% crit, and that is flat crit. Alright, you can even see it here if we go to detailed stats. Our crit chance is 42%, which is really good. Alright, and so yeah, very powerful stuff. And, how much did that cost? Did that cost all of ours? And again, we're going to be doing this for all the characters, don't worry. We're going to be getting plenty of these when we hit level 40. We're going to farm a bunch of these, and then our characters are going to get super duper strong. Alright, we are on mission 37. It wants us to go over here, but first, because we're on the other side, and you want to get this now rather than later because it's annoying to get, is this waypoint right over here. There we go. You should be able to see it when you're on this quest. And by the way, this part has lots of foxes and rabbits if you need to kill 100 of those because you're a completionist. But that's if you want to. By the way, before continuing with the quest here, I'd like to go to the tower here and get the area explored, because walking around with a shrouded map is just super annoying. And the way we complete this one is with a jump puzzle dungeon. So again, we're not going to be killing any enemies. We just go in here, and it's just a little platforming section. It's really simple, really easy to do. Now, some characters are better than others at platforming. For instance, Ornette can kind of float for a couple slashes if you need to. Johnny has a dash, and you don't really need... The dungeons are designed where you don't need anyone's abilities to get through them, but it is a time sink, because you have to like wait for the platform to travel and so on. Also, if you think you're going to miss a jump, you can spam spacebar, and that will mantle the side. So like if you jump like this and you spam spacebar, you'll grab and pull yourself up. Whereas if you're not spamming spacebar, it won't pull you up. So for this Squid Game section here, if you just run down the middle and spam spacebar, you don't have to worry about the falling platforms. Because if they fall out from under you, you'll just pull yourself up to whatever platform is not the wrong answer, I guess. But yeah, you can just, again, very easy to solve because we can mantle. And just because it's gonna bug people, we'll go get this one too. So we'll teleport to the Coastal Cliff Cave Outpost. Alright. And we're not gonna do this dungeon right now, because we want a little bit more power. But we'll go ahead and track this and work our way to it. And it's over there. It's not too far. So this area, it's pretty basic. We're gonna go ahead and grab the chest here facing the north. But essentially, we just need to toggle some switches, and near the switches are the solutions. Though they're not entirely obvious at first. So first we have to get the quest started here, and there it is. Alright, so this one's pretty easy. It's the fish icon, so we're just gonna boop this until we see a fish icon. Very simple. Alright, I'm also gonna grab... Whoa, the mob floated there. Grab this chest here. There we go. Go ahead and grab it. Awesome. Not a lot of awesome loot, though. And then working our way down... Where's the icon? Oh, it's on the other side of the wall. So we have the hourglass. There it is. Alright. Grab these stones, because why not? Alright, now what about this one? Where's the icon? Oh, there's a wall here. Look on the other side of the wall. Still nothing. Where could it be? Oh, it's above it. It's the two spikes facing left. Alright, there we go. Oh man, baby mode puzzles. And the fish icon once again. So just go ahead and knock it there. And ta-da, we did it. Next up, we're going to go southeast to the next tower here. And then we're gonna, you know, talk to this weird tombstone thing. I don't know why we have to talk to a tombstone and then read a note instead of the guy just being here for us. But what we gotta do, this puzzle's pretty simple. So you have red stones, yellow, and white stones. So, as Costello, we're gonna break the white stones with her attacks, not too hard. And, it's a little bit easier to do this when you have the jumping mount, but we can just knock it out now, because it's whatever. So yeah, you're just gonna climb up on the stones and then just smash them. Also, yeah, if you if your character misses or gets stuck in an animation, you'll have to cancel and resummon your mount so that you can, you know, not just plummet all the way down and take fall damage. It takes a lot of falling to take fatal fall damage, by the way. Alright, there we go. I think that's all the white stones. So for the yellow stones, you have to swap, and yeah, it's a little weird, but you're going to have to swap to loot. So we're going to just, I am in the wrong menu. Go to team, swap out Costella for loot. And there we go. And then you have to use his Q ability. Regular attacks won't work, but the downward smash of his Q is what'll do it. So, while you're waiting on loot's cooldown, you can then... Wrong button. You can then switch over from loot to Aria, and the red stones you throw bombs at. So, there's like a red stone up there. I'll have to use a mount to get to that. But that's the puzzle. Just smash the stones with their abilities. Next up, we're going to go down to this one. And the reason we go down here is because there is a food item that we need to farm later for a raid dungeon that we have to do, and so we're just getting it now, so we don't have to worry about it later. But this is a high-level, mid-level 50 zone, so we can't be fighting enemies. We're going to just run straight to the tower. Now, this tower is also a platform trial. The rewards, you know, it's alright, but we're going to go ahead and just knock it out. And again, these things, you don't fight mobs, you don't need any special abilities. It's just going to take you 2 to 3 minutes if your jumping is good, or 5 to 8 minutes if your jumping is bad. But yeah, we definitely need these ingredients. If this puzzle isn't obvious, I mean, come on. There's a fish icon. We're going to knock this to the fish icon and then continue forward. So, it takes a little bit more brain than the last one, but it's pretty much the same slop. Just jump platform to platform. Also, beware, these platforms, you can only jump on them like once or twice before they crumble. So you'll notice that they're cracked, and if I keep jumping on them, they will fall, or they fall over time. They're just booby-trapped. From this tower, we're going to grab this waypoint that's to the east, and this is a village. Let me get my bearings here. Yeah, just jump straight down to it. And this is where we're going to be farming rice, because these fields contain rice, which is a cooking ingredient. We're not going to do it right now, but we'll be doing it later, but it's just a good idea to get this stuff done now. You can also farm lots of poultry and goose eggs in this little stream here. This is probably my favorite place in the game to farm poultry and, well, goose eggs. I keep repeating myself because I'm so tired. I haven't slept in 2 days. But yeah, very good goose farm. Also, the goose will attack you, so they can't kill you. I mean, not at this level. We're a little too strong. But yeah, it's just a nice farm. Also, there is a puzzle here to the north we'll go ahead and grab real fast. And yeah, this one is just, we're going to be pushing, essentially the way it works is, we're going to be pushing these things through the little square maze. This one does take a small amount of time, but you can figure this one out, man. And this treasure map is just north of the Orbis Castle, so super close. Alright, so now that we are right here at the Orbis Castle, we took the waypoint, we jumped down. We're going to do the Marmot minigame here. There we go. Alright, awesome stuff. And again, this one's just going to take us where we need to go pretty much automatically. One of the easier ones. Yeah. Just let it ride. Oh, man. See, it all adds up. And then we just coast to victory. Yep, it's that simple. And then that's the reward chest, and hey, we're right next to the treasure map too. Couldn't plan it any better, right? Unfortunately, the treasure map is pretty sure it's underground, so I'll show you where that's at. You know, I was thinking of a different one. It's right here on the high ledge behind the bushes here. So again, super close. You just gotta climb up a tiny bit more than I did. Yeah, easy loot, super easy. Yeah, awesome. Now, continuing north up into the tower, we're gonna do another puzzle, and this one requires a little bit of clearing, but we're strong enough to be able to clear this area, not too hard. But like the first one here is pretty simple. Right, it's got the fish icon and a thing next to it, so obviously you make it into the fish icon. There we go. But the problem is that the rest of these are kind of hidden around, and so they're not just like all in simple spots. You're gonna have to clear some goblins, you're gonna have to clear some camps here, and find the switches. Like here's one over here. So like this switch, what could the icon be? You just have to look around, right? And you'll see here, it's actually behind the bushes, so you can cut the bushes down, and now, oh, it's the 3 spikes. Now, if you don't want to clear the goblins, you know, you don't have to. But, because I have it on lock-on mode, they're kind of in the way. But, it's up to you, just run around, and you'll find all of them, eventually. Alright, well, I didn't get to record, but there's one over here that just, there's no symbol around. But I was running around and the enemies attacked it, so, yeah, whatever. The enemy swung on it and did the puzzle for me. So yeah, that's pretty much it. It's not hard, but you run back over here, you talk to our good friend Alwyn here, and he'll turn the damn tower on, I guess. Next, we'll come down here to this statue, and I love watching people try to solve this one because what they do is they see the piece over there, right? And I'll show you. It's so amusing to me. But what they do is they try to like do all sorts of things so that you can't throw this, you can't jump, you can't character swap or mount up. So they try to like run off the edge over here, because if you land in the water, you drop the item, and the item will respawn up top. And people are like, oh, it's glitched. Oh, the game devs... Like, they blame the game devs, saying that this is an impossible puzzle, but the game taught you how to do this puzzle at the start. You go to the tree and you tip it over. So yeah, that's the solution, okay? You just push the tree over, and yeah, it takes a little bit, but there we go. Timber. Alright, so that's the first piece. The second piece is like right over here behind it, and then the third one's up on the ledge up top. So that's all you need. Next up, we'll grab the Fang Bandit Arena dungeon here. Alright, so next up, this one it's a little harder to find, but from the dungeon, you're going to go northeast and try to find this like circle-looking thing and go north above it to this area. And we have another puzzle. Yay, we love puzzles, don't we? Anyway, you just you just move this one out of the way. I thought this was the smash one. You know, it's been a while since I've redone these, but yeah, you just you know how to do this. And the treasure map will lead you down this way, which we'll get much later because again, higher level zone, whatever. This one isn't too high level zone. It's just we like quest up here for a while, and then we go back here, and then we go up here, and then we go back here again. And so this one's eventually on the way. And you know it, we're gonna grab this waypoint next, or not really waypoint, it's the, you know, the tower, and it's another dungeon. Alright, complete the Trial of Celestial Sight. Oh boy. Yay. This one took about 3 minutes to do after a few falls, so you should be able to do it faster if you're good at platforming, I guess. Anyway, with that massive tour of the world done, we can finally go back to questing. There's no more side stuff. Just run to that main story objective and get her done. After you've done the ecological survey, I would clear out the remaining enemies in here rather than just rush the quest down so you can go ahead and get this treasure. That way you don't have to come back later. Also, it's a purple, so it's not bad. It's worth getting because of the stigma. But like that chest over there to kill these two, it's not worth because it's a poopy doopy brown chest, which is ew gross. And it'll just have really basic crap. Also, that one's a brown chest, so again, all crappy chests. We're just gonna teleport back. I'm not gonna walk back. That would be silly, especially when it's way faster just to do it this way. So yeah, just keep on questing. On the way to mission 38 from the tower, if you stop here at this little landmark where it says Thick Mist Zone on the map, you'll see this. And so the puzzle's pretty simple, pretty self-explanatory. You just move these out of the way, you move that one into the slot, and there you go. And then the treasure map will be right down here. We've been there before. Let's go get them. And once you climb all the way to the top where the tree is, you just drop down this little ledge, and there it is. Pretty cool, right? And then we should have enough stigmas now to be able to pump Castella all the way to 6. I'm going to pump her to 5, and then I'm going to show you the before and after on the whirlwind, because I know someone's going to be curious. So let me just find a little open, nice area here to whirlwind in. So this is whirlwinding without the upgrade. You can see... There we go. And with the upgrade... A lot faster and more hits. Pretty cool, huh? After that, we're going to go get this treasure now. So we're going to go to the Blue Hell Wetlands, and then we're just going to ride it north, drop down, grab the chest. Super simple. And you can open the map while you're flying if you want to see where you're going, but it's pretty simple. I'll show you when we drop. Now, this one is actually in a cave, so... from this little brown coast area, just go north a bit from the ground level. And then we're just going to run in the cave. And oh yeah, this is the one with the spider boss. But we're going to ignore the spider boss. And we're just going to, because he's level 40. And we're just going to yoink the chest real quick and leave. Okay, yeah, he just killed Castella there. So again, this is why we're not fighting him right now. Oh no. Tried to goop me. Yeah, just get in there, yoink the chest and leave. You don't need to stay. And yeah, It's gonna run out of the tower, but, you know, we can just fast travel pretty much anywhere. There we go. Another mob was hitting me. But yeah, we'll just heal real quick, get Castella back up, and we're all good. So on mission 39, if you walk towards this tree, it's clearly a world boss. But we're gonna walk towards the tree, activate it, make sure we see its health bar, and leave. We're not gonna fight it. It'll always be here to fight. It's not part of the quest to fight. It's just, hey, an optional boss if you want. And yeah, you could take it on, but it's level 40, and it's going to take you a while to whittle that sucker down. So instead, just climb up this side. I like climbing up the left side because there's a chest over here. So I'm going to grab that. There we go. And it's whatever. And I did not boost that jump. Try again. There we go. You don't want to try to grab on the waterfall. It'll push you down. Alright, but yeah. Just keep on questing. Now, near this big crystal tree thing, there is one of these little key chests, so make sure you grab that before you keep going, I guess. And when you climb the tree, there are bird eggs. Yay, we love bird eggs. Also, there's a couple brown chests, at least. There's a minimum of 2. There might be more. I'm not going to scout the whole damn tree here, but you can grab them if you want. I mean, it's whatever. Brown chests are icky, sticky. Towards the end of the video, I'll show you where like 50 brown chests are at the very start of the game if you want to like get hyper boosted from their materials, but it's not necessary. So here at mission 39, you're going to enter where the giant sleeps and then immediately leave because the boss fight is rather difficult if you don't level up proper and get some good materials. And once we beat this dungeon, we can then level up karmas indefinitely, so that's always nice and fun. But before we go in, we're going to do the usual, and we are going to try to progress everything that we have as much as possible. Now, this is already level 30 for this character, so we need to swap characters here and level up. Again, you just want to level up everything as much as possible before going into the dungeon, because when you're inside the dungeon, the game won't let you access this menu for some reason. So, again, we're going to be pumping everything up, and we have plenty of materials to break through now. And there we go. So that puts all of our characters at level 30 karma, which is really nice. And we're about to get a gear upgrade by also doing this dungeon, so that's why we're not fiddling with equipment. But if it is difficult, we can go farm some food items if you need to power through it. And I'll show you a little bit of how to do that. I'm going to show you the very basic way of doing that, but I'm going to cover this more extensively towards the end of the video. But right down here at Moonlight Farm, we're going to take the waypoint that's just south of it. And we're going to farm some wheat and cook some food for heals, because, again, the boss is slightly... I know there's a chest there, you don't have to remind me. But the boss is kind of dangerous, and it's a bit of a slog, even with the levels we're at. But here at Moonlight Farm, so let me show you how this works. Normally, you're going to just attack the wheat fields, and sometimes they will drop these little wheat items, so I just got 4 wheat from that. However, you don't need to chop wheat. You just get Dana and do her dodge attack, and you just spray the fields, and you look for the blue dots. Or, I'm not blue, but green. So there we go, we got a wheat drop there, and you just hose the wheat down. And the way the wheat drop works is, you're not, like this one right here, it's hidden amongst the stack. Like, this is a decal, this is a graphic, right? And whenever you chop the graphic down, it goes away. Now, it's a little hard to see it, but if I clear, like, this wheat field, and you could use spells if you want, there is a different graphic for the ones that actually drop the wheat, and it's a single strand. Alright, but it's a little hard to describe, but the fastest way to get through these wheat fields is to just, again, just spam your dodge attack as Dana, spray all the wheat, and then move on to the next field. And there are 3 total fields, or it's technically 4, but some of them are kind of small, so it's basically like 3 fields if you want to, like, average out the size. And you just get a bunch of wheat. And what you do is you quit to the title screen, or you teleport away and come back, and that refreshes it. I think title screen's faster. But once you've farmed all the wheat, you go to the brazier, or the cooking station, which is just north of Moonlight Farm. And, cooking, whatever. I'm going to share with you all the good recipes later in the video, but for now, If you need heals, click grilling and then put in 3 wheat and cook that the first time. That's going to teach you how to make dumplings. It's 3-star dumplings, which heal 850 to the whole team, okay? Then you go to the cooking tab and you just cook as many as you can. So we're going to cook 12 there. And this is more than enough heals to fully satiate you for the fight. You don't need any more than this. The game starts you with 10. We have 23 now. And the way food works is you just put, like, I have it assigned to hotkey number 4. If you go to your inventory and then go to cooking, you can put these on a hotkey. The game also gives you mushroom tea that'll resurrect, so we're going to assign that to number, that one there. And the way to make mushroom tea is, you've been picking up mushrooms the whole game so far, I hope, right? You just find a mushroom, there's a mushroom, and then you boil it, okay? Boiling is the middle option. There we go. And that is the wrong recipe. I'm sorry. I made a mistake, okay? The actual recipe is you take an herb, alright, and then a mushroom, and then you boil it. So this one, this is one of 2, right? This is a 2-star. No, that's not it either. I must be doing something wrong. It's... Alright, we take an herb and we just boil the herb, alright? And there we go. So that is... No, that's... Really? Hold on. What the... Did they patch it? Alright, so apparently this is not an herb, but this is... This is the 3-star one. We have some 1-star ones down here. And then these down here. So you take an herb, you boil it. Now what this does, okay... Yeah, herbal tea, there we go. 25. This lets you revive an ally 25% with a cooldown of 1 minute. But if you add a mushroom to it and then boil it, you get a different type, which is the mushroom tea. And that also revives with a 30-second cooldown, which is infinitely better than a 1-minute cooldown. But also, if you need to revive 2 people at once, one has a 1-minute cooldown and one has a 30-second cooldown, so you just swap to both. But, yeah. Also, to get this 3-star herb, it's right here. I showed you this earlier. And to get the mushrooms, you just pick them up all over the place. If you want, you can go back to the starter zone, pick up a bunch there. You can run through here, pick up a bunch with vegetables and so on. So, revives are just whatever. You don't really need to revive much with how stat boosted your characters currently are. But with those healing items, you should easily be able to take on this boss. But if you've just been... Assuming you haven't watched a guide, right? And I would recommend that you heal before you go in. I'm not going to because I don't care. But if for people that have never watched a guide and haven't played games like this and don't know how to min-max, this is a roadblock. This is a... They have to back out and go actually figure out the game and go level up and upgrade their gear and do a bunch of other crap before they can take on this boss. Because the boss will absolutely destroy you if you aren't prepared for it. But I'm going to show you the full fight here, just so you can kind of see how I'm playing it. So I'm going to walk up to the boss. Yeah, we're going to skip the dialogue. We'll lock onto it. It's going to roar. We're going to dump our minion, and we're going to circle strafe to the side. I did not dodge that properly. You can see how much damage it did to me, right? So again, I'm just spraying it. I'm going to do Choco Spin. There we go. And we're trying to get the Choco Punch, the one that breaks the shield. There it is, Choco Knuckle. So we're going to activate that, but he is animation locked, and he did not do it. So unfortunate for us. We're going to keep spraying him. He's got 3 stacks of ice on him right now, so he's very slow, meaning we can circle strafe around him. He's about to break here. Choco Knuckle again. Choco actually unsummoned, so it didn't work. We're going to swap and use Castella now. We're going to yell. We're going to swap back for the spin, do another knuckle, switch to Ornette and start stacking lightning now. There we go. And we need 1 more stack of lightning, so I'm going to do some dash attacks here, get Judgment out, swap back to Dana, and again start the whole process over again. I'm going to pop a heal, and everyone's mostly full. Choco Spin, and... You know, this video is already pretty long, but that's all I'm doing. I'm just rinsing and repeating, and yeah, just Choco Spin. If you need to back off and heal, like Dana's half HP right now. I've got 35 seconds on my heal, so we can swap to Ornette and let her pound on it for a while, right? There we go. Get Judgment out, get some lightning stacks going, pop everyone's abilities, and there we go. Also, I got an achievement for destroying the arm, which I didn't get before when I played through the game previously, so I don't know what's going on with that. I guess achievements were broken, but you get the idea. Just, it is a slog, so it's going to take some time to beat this thing up. But just dodge roll its big attacks, and you should be fine. It was a 4-minute long fight. I used about 4 heals. I could have used more heals, but this gives us a purple intruder set. We got attack, critical damage, bah, defense up, bah. So we got like one good piece of gear. Which is unfortunate, it's whatever, but we can grind for more of these pieces, it's fine, alright? But we don't need to do that until the raid, which is coming up, and but by doing this dungeon, the Trace of the Giant, we can now start farming these, and this is how you level up Karma. And we're definitely going to need that for when we go from level 30 to 40, so it's super useful. So on mission 40, the fact that you have to start it inside this palace kind of sucks, so just start rolling it with Johnny real quick here, just to get the quest like things out of the palace. All right. Because until you do the promotion quest, at least, it's very hard to track quests. It's super annoying, but just get Johnny out of there, and when you open the map you can see it's over here. It wants us to go over here, so we're good. So now we can work on the promotion quest. And again, once you get to the dungeon, make sure you're doing the promotional exam and not the regular dungeon. By the way, this dungeon has traps, and if you haven't learned by now, when you use the dodge button on a hit stun, you kind of tech out of it, so I can just hit dodge and not get pushed off the side. Pretty basic. You can also kite the enemies into the trap, and that way you don't have to fight them, but I mean, they're level 35, and we're only 30, it's... You know, it's however you want to do it. This one is stuck behind the pushing thing. Once you do the promotional exam, we finally get the damn mount, the maple flying squirrel. This thing is so good. Let me show you what it does and how it works. So we're going to go ahead and... wait, they can't both have that. No. No, I'm doing it wrong. Man, I am so tired. Okay, we select this, and then we give it to frickin'... whatever her name is. My brain is fried right now. Her name is Ornette. Okay, there we go, right? Alright, so once you have the squirrel, and you need to climb a wall or climb anything... Here, let me get to a wall real quick. Alright, so you swap to the squirrel, and when you push spacebar, it just jumps up the wall. It's so nice. You can climb things so fast now, and it really opens up the game to explore and just climb everything and get all the loot and get all the treasure. It's amazing. But another thing too is we just got promoted, so now we can be level 40, but also again, you want to go to adventure difficulty and you want to downgrade. Now we can only downgrade to 2 and not 1, but the power spike from 30 to 40 is so much more than 10 to 30, I'm telling you. So it's worth it for that slight difficulty increase in the starter zones. But at this point, we have a grind ahead of us. So before we do any more main story questing, we have to really buckle down, get all of our stuff maxed out, because before we can get promoted again to level 50, we have to do a raid, and the raid is just it's a slog. It is just massive. So I'm going to take you through all the steps now on how to power level and get super freaking strong. Let's get right into it. Alright, for starters, before we do any kind of leveling or whatever, we're going to finish getting Dana awakened so that Chaco Spin will deal more damage, and we just have more cold damage in general. A 25% boost to cold damage is quite a bit, especially when we're going to multiply that later. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to go just north, right around here, and we're going to get some treasure, and I'll show you where that's at. So starting off, we're going to go right here to this little brown area, and we're going to find the Marmot King. Also, this little brown area right here is really good for lantern gourds, which is just a vegetable. I haven't really found any big use for vegetables. They're kind of all over the place, so I don't really feel like stocking up on lantern gourds really does anything. But yeah, the King of the Marmots is here. And he's got a more tough than usual minigame, but before we do that, if we just kind of go northeast a bit, there is a shovel here, so we can go ahead and dig up at this treasure chest. It's just a blue one, but hey, blue helps. Especially with, we're going to be spending a lot of money on upgrades, by the way. We're going to be broke. Oh, man. But, yeah, King of the Marmots. So, what we want to do is we want to have Dana for this test. And it's a mole minigame. You just have to find the moles where they're dug up. And there's an easy way to do this. You switch to Dana as soon as the game lets me. Okay? And you summon Chaco, and Chaco will go beat all the marmots up for you. So, wherever he's looking, he's just going to run straight to them. And you could beat it, you know, you could beat him to the punch. There we go. We dunked on that one. And now he's going to run into this one. He's our little aimbot, okay? So, again, Chaco's just going to do his thing, and we already cleared that one. So you can resummon him with the shield and then unshield, and then he will start homing into the next one, which is over here. So, again, and then he's still going to attack the mound, though, so that can be a problem. But, you know, while he's doing that, you can just spray the whole area. Let's see, where's the next one? Sniff him out, boy. Alright. And sometimes they like to hide in grass and stuff, and it's whatever. Oh, where'd he go? He might have went to go smash. Oh no, he unsummoned. Okay, pop him back out, whatever. Alright, where are they at? Let's see. Are they behind here? Yep, there's one there. And then the last one is in the distance. We can just go ahead and doink it there. And using a ranged character makes this challenge a lot easier too. But that should get us a stigma. Should, maybe, if I remember right. And I guess not. Well, darn. Well, there's another Marmot quest, and we're going to teleport back to the warp point, and we're going to use that squirrel mount we got. Let's see. It's on Ornette. All my save files are different. And we're going to climb the tower. Oh boy, are we climbing. And we got to climb pretty high, but he's up here somewhere. It's, we might have to jump to the main building here. Yeah. We need to find a spot to rest a bit before we run out of stamina. Yeah, that works. Well, kind of. I'm glitching through it, but that should work. I'll show you where he's at. Also, if you climb up high enough, you'll find more bird eggs. So again, let me show you why we've been getting bird eggs the whole time. I know we're kind of off topic here. But if we go to the familiar, and then we go to the bird, refreshing canary, no, that's not it. It is collect bird eggs, 6 out of 150. So yeah, we get this diligent sparrow, and then all familiars can use air dash. Alright, so I experienced a glitch with this one. So this is where he is. And I'm facing northwest, and I'm on the big... I'll try to get you like an aerial view here. So this is the tower, and you just climb up it. And you'll know you're in the right place, because if you look down into the tower, you'll see the bird eggs, right? However, he wasn't here when I got here. I had to close and reopen the game, and he appeared. So if you were looking up here initially, and he wasn't there, you would just think he would never appear. I don't know what this bug is, but, oh man, they need to fix it. Because my first playthrough, I've been screenshotting every time I find a secret, right? And I have a big folder. And I came here, I'm like, well, where is he? I didn't clear him. I know I didn't. So, again, closing and reopening the game fixed it. But I wonder how many more things I missed by not doing that. Let's see if this one gives us a stigma or not. Nope, guess not. Okay, so we're going to go to the Blue Lake Island now. There we go, and, well, we're gonna go to the waypoint we got. We're gonna go to this little baby island that is just right over here. And yeah, there's, you know, poultry we can farm if we want. And we'll just do a couple puzzles. So first, we'll dig this up. Let's see if it gives us what we need. No, it's just a blue chest. Oh no, the ducks. Get out of here, ducks. Next up, we will do this puzzle where we grab a rock and, well, you know the drill. We put it on the pad. Instead of a rock, it's a sandbag near the boat. So there we go, put the sandbag down. Now, these are spaced pretty far apart, so we can't do the thing where we summon a helper to cast a spell. We're gonna have to grab another bag or something. Let's see, bucket, perhaps, maybe? We'll figure it out. Okay, so the rock was in this corner, so we'll go ahead and drop it down on the point, and stand on the third one. And will that give us a purple chest? We shall see. If not, hey, enjoy the free chest, I suppose. But for how much work this one is, yeah, purple chest. It's got to have a stigma. Come on now. Does it have one? We just need one. And nope. Bummer. Okay, next up we'll do this Marmot King, and it's located right here. I know we never did this tower because I just don't use this fast travel for anything. I either go here or there. It's just kind of a pointless one to have. And it's so close to the castle anyway, so no point. And it's one of the more annoying statues to do, but if you're a completionist, whatever. Now this one you don't want to summon Chaco because you have to look for the white flag. But yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and just doink the one that doesn't have the white flag. It's pretty simple. All right, here's the loot. Let's see it. And again, this will give us a treasure map, so or not. I guess not. Damn. So the next one is here at Moonlight Farms. We're like on this part, just above the item vendor. And never buy food from the item vendors. You can always just farm whatever they sell. And this one is rather difficult. It's another, like, you have to hunt down the marmots. They're kind of hard to see. But with Chaco being our aimbot, it should be doable. So, again, we're just going to summon Chaco. And look, there's one right there that we landed on him. And what I like to do is I just spray the fields while farming wheat. And, again, they're going to be hidden in these fields, right? But also just kind of see where Chaco is running to, because he's just going to beeline it to him. There we go. He punched one out for us. Alright, very cool. Fortunately, my loot button is also my Chaco punch button. So, that's just how it is sometimes. But we can summon him over here, make him stop his shield. And you'll notice we get a bubble now. That's pretty nice. There we go. So he just punched one out. Or, yeah, he just dumpstered one. The other two are kind of in the middle more so. Yeah, there's one right here. There's one near the house, I think, that we spawned in at. Oh yeah, here it is. So there's the fifth one over near the over near the pumpkins. Now do we have our final awakened? Oh man, imagine if you wasted these on characters that suck. That's the problem. Now we got forging molds, which is even better, so it's still worth getting. The next Marmot King is over here. Just kind of slightly northeast of Moonlight Farms. And we'll go ahead and do his challenge. Just dodge... Oh, this is a fun one. This one, it tests your Dark Souls capability. So, he does 2 different light waves. Also, ducks are going to chase you. You can't hurt the ducks or the geese. But basically, he's going to emit a light wave. If it's low or high, so that one's high, we have to dodge roll it. So we just dodge roll it, whatever. That one's low, so we jump over that one. I don't think you could dodge roll the low ones. I can try it. Let's see. No, it'll hit you if you dodge roll it, because I did that one perfectly. So yeah, you just do that for 20 more seconds. I'm not gonna bore you. I'll skip to the end here. And now to show off the loot. Is our grind over? No, it's just begun. Okay, let's see. But we're still getting fragment memories, and so oh look, we got another thingy, another karma that we can break down, so that's good. Next king is right below the cemetery little dungeon here. Just go south, and here he is. Let's see, just gotta catch him. No ghosts will appear. Oh boy. So again, you know the drill. We just summon Chaco, and he's gonna hunt them all down. I don't need to show you this one. All right, a little bit of a tougher one, but yeah, Chaco kept getting stuck on walls, but at least he looked at where they were at. Fragment of Sacrifice 100, so that's still worth getting. Well, we might be able to just buy it at this point, but we're gonna get a moon key that's nearby. So from this waypoint, I didn't hover. From this waypoint, we're gonna go to these docks. All right. Also, there is a blue chest up here we can grab real quick while we're at it. Yeah. I did not mean to unsummon the mount. I meant to hop off the damn wall. But yeah, these give, fragments. Also, the other tower is going to have also a blue chest. Swap to... That is the wrong mount. Whatever. Another blue chest. Now, we're looking for the moon key chest here. And that's going to be on the ground level. So you can see it right near the water. It's kind of here in the top left corner, I guess, of this little concrete area. And all these little currencies should add up so we could buy it. We could just buy our way through it anyway. But anonymous artists, that's worth. There's also another chest here in this, kind of on the ground level. Just a brown poopy doopy chest. It's sticking to the walls. Alright, the hunt continues. Alright, we're gonna go back to the Blue Lake Island. Oh, man. Alright. And we're gonna go towards the beach area. And there it is right here. Cool. See if this is enough. I'm pretty sure we have enough, but I just want to be absolutely sure that those following along, you know, will have just as much. Alright, let's just get more freaking treasure maps. Okay, so from here, the Silver Ford Outpost, we're gonna go north to about right here. And there's a puzzle that I have, I've been cracking it here, but essentially you got to get the big pole into the middle, and you got to move a lot of these poles out of the way. This one is going to take you about 3 to 4 minutes just of pure moving blocks around, because it's a little bit tricky, but you'll eventually get it in there, and you'll get the chest. And this treasure map's pretty easy to get to. It's just the island here on the edge, so we can just fly straight to that, no problem. And it's going to be basically facing the south side behind some rocks. This should do it. Oh, what a adventure it's been trying to hunt enough memory fragments. There we go. We got 2 stigmas. Look at that. Very cool. All right. So we're going to go ahead and go to the exchange, go to Awaken, and yeah, we have like 4 more of these we can buy, right? So you have plenty left over if you want to try them out on other characters or not. But, oh boy. There we go. And apply 3 of those. Boom. There we go. Now we're fully awakened. Alright, time to level from 30 to 40. We got to do our breakthroughs, so we got to farm these materials. The game tells us that we need to go to, again, the Goblin Village. There it is, right? Now, because I believe we did this once already, we don't have to do the normal mode. We can go to hard mode, and that's going to give us... No, it's going to give us the tier 2 material. So yeah, we still have to do the tier 1, but we should be able to smash it really, really quick. Super easy. There we go, we have farmed the materials. We can now do the breakthrough. And we got plenty of books just from questing and opening chests. So getting 30 to 40, not a problem. But we need to do this for all of our characters. So let's see if we have the materials for her breakthrough, and we don't. You can see that we need just a couple more of these. Now I'm pretty sure you can transmute these, but I'd rather just farm it at Goblin Bandit Cave. So, because we've already done the normal one, I'm pretty sure we can go do hard and farm the tier 2 materials. And we get a bunch of gear that could possibly be an upgrade, or we can also salvage the gear, which is what we'll be doing later. For Ornette's breakthrough, we do need Drop of Purity, and these things can generally be found around statues and teleport pads. So if I just go to this teleport pad and I just look around, there should be some, and they look like this. These little pink flowers, just usually on the sides of cliffs. Drop of Purity, there we go. And again, if you find one, all you gotta do is log out to the title screen, log back in, it'll be back. You can also just fast travel away and back, but a lot of plants, again, they put it near the teleport towers and near the statues, so they're not too hard to find. You can just kind of roam around. There's some bird eggs. Oh man, it's there's another one on this ledge. They usually overlook cliffs too, if that helps. But if you can't find them, you don't have to go gather them. You can just, what you do is you click hold it, and then you go to exchange, and you trade in metals. So I can buy 47 if I wanted to, which I don't need to, but again, that's going to make the breakthrough easy enough. And you already know how to do the breakthrough for the raw materials. You just go to the dungeon and farm it. Pretty simple stuff. I forgot to break through this character. There we go, Castella. Alright, so that is now level 40 on our main party. Next up is leveling Karma 30 to 40. It's the same thing. We're going to do breakthrough. Now, in this case, we're going to have to farm these things, these low-grade stones, but we have that already unlocked, and it's going to be this dungeon right here at the Shadowed Forest? Shadowed, wow, really? But this is a trait dungeon, so we're just going to warp there, and we're going to have to also farm this for gear later, but right now we're just doing breakthrough. Let's find the frost one. There we go. So when we kill this level 20 giant crab, we're going to get 5 frosts. And this is a real quick dungeon. It is like one room and you fight like 10 mobs. And it looks just like this. So you just jump down the middle here and you just beat some dudes up and collect your loot. It's really simple. You can see I got it done in 33 seconds. And now I'm going to repeat the same for Breaker, and then also for Thunderbolt. And of course, once we break through it, we just have to level it up, which we might not have enough materials. It looks like, yeah, we only got to level 35 here. But all we have to do now is go farm the materials that give us XP for that, which is that Giant's dungeon all the way over here, Trace of the Giant. We're going to go ahead and warp there, and we're going to do the normal mode. And then once we beat normal, we can then do hard, which is level 40. We should be able to do it. And again, we're just killing a bunch of mobs, and it's a bit of a grind, but we'll get it done. It's the biggest stat boost we can get for the least amount of work. All right, after a bit of grinding and forgetting to loot the damn chest. Now, don't forget to loot the damn chest whenever you do the quest, all right? We are now level 40 Karma and regular level 40 on Dana. So now we need to repeat this for Ornette and then for Castella. By the way, if you want to do the level 50 version, you can beat it. This took me about 3 minutes to get 100 purples. Though I did have to use revives and heals because the enemies do one-shot. So just keep that in mind if you... I'm not really sure if it's more valuable for your time or not, but it is doable. Now it's time to ascend Karma, and we're going to decompile or deconstruct everything that we're not currently using. So we don't need every rose has its thorns, so we're just going to, again, anything that you might have found so far, we're just going to disassemble it. That's going to give us some of these so that we can buy new ones. There we go. All right, and since we already have Ascension 6 on our summoner, sorry, when I get super tired I forget names, Dana. So Dana's already ascended, right? So we're going to go for Ornette and then Castella. And Ornette is using the Flash of Invention. So we're going to go to Exchange, go to Karma, go to a Flash of Invention, and we're going to buy 6. There we go. Alright, cool. And then Castella is using Way of the Wild, and we're going to buy 5 of those. Alright, cool, cool. And we're just going to ascend them now. So we go to Karma, we go to Progress, we go to Ascension, and we just +6 it. And there we go. So now we have 45% crit chance, more shock damage, huge. And then same thing for Castella, but we can only ascend to 5 because we don't have enough points for 6 yet. And that's fine, it's just a few points off of being maxed out. But it's pretty damn good. So our characters are now really bussin'. Like if we go to our stats, like we have 54% crit chance, right? Crit damage, you know, we can start pumping that. What is Dana at? She's a 67 crit chance, and Castella only at 27. But we can correct that through gear. All right, so gear priority is going to be Dana, then Ornette, then Castella. So we're going to do the same thing that we did before. We're going to go over each piece of gear, and we're going to see what we have. But at the same time, we're going to try to have at least the 3 set bonus from Intruder. And that gives us, you know, about 15% extra crit chance if we have the whole set. Then after that, we want a 2-piece set of elemental gear, which we have to craft. But we can farm dungeons and get these pieces. And they don't have to be purple. They can be blue or green. It doesn't matter. The color right now isn't really super important. But what's more important than the set bonus is the raw stats. So right now, my Dana has a plus attack helmet, whereas this one is just a plus attack helmet upgrade. So we're going to swap that, obviously. There we go. Now if we go to body armor, her armor is max HP, which is alright. But this armor is critical damage. Now, the percent-based things aren't so great right now, unless it's crit chance. So we're going to keep her armor. And then pants. Her pants are max HP, which is pretty damn good. We have crit resistance, who cares? Attack up. These are percent-based, we don't need these. So all of that is pretty much garbage. After that, we go for gloves. Her gloves are attack-based. These gloves are defense percent. Yeah, so she's pretty much set there. And then boots. Let's see. Her boots are crit chance percent, which is nice. These boots are crit resist. crit damage reduction, critical hit chance. So we have better boots there. We'll go ahead and swap those out. There we go. Max HP up percent. This is flat max HP, which is pretty good. And then we have these boots, which we can now donate to somebody else. Now I'm going to go through and do the same for Ornette, and then the same for Costella. Alright, I have equipped everyone with the optimal set of gear, and so in order to clean up equipment, we are now going to disassemble. And you may think, oh, this is bad or whatever, but no, we can easily farm all of this gear and more. And everything that is not equipped will be here. And again, like a lot of, like you may think, oh, purple gear, good. No, the mods on it all suck. And that's all that the gear does. Yeah, the set bonus is okay, but we can farm these. It's not hard to farm these. It's pure luck if we get anything good, though. But this is everything that is suboptimal for all of our main cast. And I don't need to gear more characters right now. We don't need to do that until the very end of the game if you want to gear out more, you know, parties for raids. But we have 20 out of 50. We're going to disassemble. We're going to get a whole bunch of materials here. And there we go. Now what we're going to do is every character that has really good raw stats on their equipment, like this is raw attack, raw HP, crit hit chance, and raw HP. All of these are good stats. So now we're going to enhance or upgrade all of the gear as much as we can. So you'll notice the different colors have +6, +9, and +12, with legendary being +15. And so you also have more stat unlocks. So we have raw HP as the main stat of these legs, and then we get bonus max HP and attack. So what you can do is you can reforge stats that you don't need. Like, I don't need % defense up and blah, 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 but this starts to get costly. Like, if I want to lock in attack, that's cool. It's going to cost one of these, though, and you don't want to reforge gear that isn't legendary, and you don't want to reforge gear really at all until you're into game. You know, we still have, you know, level 50 to get and more progress to do. And the stat from gear, having the set bonus is nice because, again, having 15% more crit or 15% more elemental damage is amazing. It's not going to change too much because, like, just like these legs, 12.8% crit hit chance plus 1.8% crit hit chance. Remember, I think she had, like, what, 6, 7 crit hit chance. Now it's 79, okay? So, again, we're going to be critting almost every hit. Not quite, but it's getting there. Next up, you want to go to each character that has decent equipment if they have a good raw stat. Like, this helmet is plus attack, and you want to hit this lock icon. And, yeah, like, this has plus attack, so we lock everything here. Max HP is okay. Crit hit chance is fine. Like, everything, her whole kit's fine, right? Let's see, we got attack there, that's nice. Crit damage is not that nice, so I'm not going to lock that. Crit damage, again, not going to lock crit damage. Crit hit chance, sure. And crit hit chance, sure. Awesome, alright. Let's see, we got defense, nah, not really. Another defense, crit hit, yeah. Her whole kit kind of sucks. Flat HP, good. And late game max HP % good, but this is not late game right now, so not good. So you can see here that we need to replace 4 of her pieces of equipment. We need to, like, she's good for a while. And then we need to replace 2 pieces of her equipment. So that's how we're not going to really go farm equipment, but we can. It's just not really optimal or necessary because let's say we had purple or legendary of everything. Our crit rate is only going to go up by about 15, but you can see, like, we're at 76. So going up by another 15 would put us at 100. It's not much of a difference when it's this freaking high. And then having 15% more elemental damage isn't so much. But what we need to focus on now to increase our power is our skill levels. Because right now we're just using level 1 skills, and we gotta fix that. But because we powered everything else up, we can level up skills very fast now. So to level skills, we're going to click the Hunt button in the menu. And then we're going to start with this level 20 mob here. It's going to give us some scrolls and one of these things. And we need to beat the normal mode to beat the level 35 mode to beat the level 50 mode and so on. So let's start with the level 1. And you could play with other people online if you don't want to do it solo. But because we're already level 40, we're going to smoke the level 20 version pretty much damn near instantly, right? I'll go ahead and just show you what a fight looks like. Okay, we're going to lock on. He's in a charge or dodge. You know, dump Choco. Have him do Knuckle. We're going to tech roll out of that stun. Do more Knuckle. Swap our character. He's going to fly up in the air and crash. Just wait for the crash. And there it is. Give him the old breath, hit the stun blow, swap the Ornette. Again, I'm doing this a little bit slow, but let's see. There we go. We got Judgment up now. He's dead. So, pretty quick fight. It could be quicker if we got the whirlwind off Choco early, but we didn't because it flew in the sky. But whatever. Cool thing about these little modes is that you don't have to loot a chest. You don't have to worry about forgetting to get your loot. You can see I beat the normal mode one in under a minute. And this grind is a little bit tedious, so again, we're just going to level the whole kit all the way up. So, there we go, level 2 Summon Choco, level 3, now we're going to use those fins, and that's level 4. Now we have to get this fin, and this is from a different boss, and you'll notice that our leveling scrolls have upgraded. So, again, we're going to level everything to 4 on this character, and this character, and then we will work on leveling it beyond. And the reason we level it evenly is because it helps us farm just as fast. Now, like, Choco's shield isn't really offensive, we don't really use it, but again, for completionist's sake, we're just going to level everything. And you can see here that you run out of fins, like, pretty quick, right? But we got our skills on her leveled ups, and so we're going to need, you know, a lot more fins. We're going to need, like, 1 there. Basically, you need 8 fins per character, so you need 24 total fins. Or 23, because you don't level dodge. But you're going to have a surplus of fins because you need these scrolls, these records of battle. And, yeah, they take a bit of time to farm. Now, if you want to do Vanak, you can do the level 55 version. It does take twice as long, so you're not really farming more of these at all, so it's not really worth it. And he does two-shot your characters, so you have to use revives if you don't perfectly dodge roll. And by doing these hunts, you should have completed the training Chapter 1 tasks. There we go. That unlocks Chapter 2 now by clicking this arrow, or clicking the gift thing first. There we go. Go ahead and receive that. And then when Chapter 2 unlocks, we can claim a whole lot of stuff here. So yeah, pretty good. And then I need to craft 3 equipment, and that'll complete Chapter 2, which will give us another set of rewards. But we'll craft the equipment later. Now, leveling skills beyond 5 can get really grindy at this level, so I would recommend just upgrade Choco, Knuckle, and Spin. So Summon Choco will upgrade that, the Knuckle, the Spin, and then grind out these Cores of Collapse. And again, just level up Choco, Summon Choco, Knuckle, and Spin to 7. And then your other characters, you know, they help, but our main DPS is going to be Dana, or whatever her name is. You can also level up Snow Step to 7. That's hard to say, Snow Step. Because it does max out at 7, so there you go. And you can see here, that took most of our money, even though we haven't even started on gear crafting yet, and that is where the real sunk cost is. So, for gear crafting, generally what we want to do first is we want to farm these Intruder / Infiltrator. It's the same set. You can see here, Infiltrator, the Infiltrator, but the other pieces of gear called Intruder up here, but Infiltrator down here. Probably a translation error, I don't know. But what we want is we want to farm suitable head, chest, and gloves in this dungeon. And this dungeon here, it's right up top. It says it's level 45 on normal, and we don't want to do the level 55 version, though it does give epic. It's a little too tough for us, because again, the level gaps are way different. Also takes too long. So you just farm this one. It does say level 45. When you hit challenge, it'll say your level is too low. But you can clear this dungeon in 2 to 3 minutes. It's super easy. The boss absolutely melts, and the enemy mobs, you mostly just run down a path and clear them. It's a real fast dungeon. You can see here a 3-minute clear time, and again, it's a lot of the clear time is just running to the end. It's not so much killing the mobs. The mobs are beefy, but we just have so much damage it doesn't matter. You'll always get 3 pieces of loot. They're always going to be epic. Now, you don't always get glove, armor. You could get helmet, you know, armor, glove, whatever. It's completely random which pieces you get. But you just sit here and you farm this until you find a bunch of matching pieces that have the stats that you want. And so now what you want to look for, we'll start with helmets here, is our current helmet on this character has attack. And we want to look at the kind of aftermarket stats here. We have attack, defense, airborne, and knockdown. So we don't use knockdown on Dana. But we do airborne, but not much. So this is just 2 good stats here. This other helmet is crit hit resistance. We don't need this at all, so we would just disassemble that later. Next up, we have gloves. If we look at our gloves, we have attack, defense, but it's kind of a low end, right? So these gloves are crit hit chance, pretty damn good. These are max HP. This is flat, or this is percent HP. We don't need this. But you can look at these mods. If they're all 4 really good, you might want to keep this for later, but you generally don't unless it's a legendary. So in this case, we're going to look at max HP versus crit hit chance. Now you may be thinking, oh, crit hit chance is the winner, right? But look at the mods. We have defense and max HP, but we have airborne and bleed. Whereas this one has defense, break, knockdown, and armor pin. So we can kind of use break even though we're not a break character. We still do break armor. But max HP versus crit hit chance, I'm not really so sure. But what about our third piece of gear here? We got no boots, and I don't think we have a sizable chest. Yeah, we already have the helmet, so we have the gloves. We still need to keep farming if we want to equip her with more. So again, it is a bit of a grind, but at the same time, you're not entirely wasting your time if you don't get the drop you want, because you go to equipment, and like for this helmet, crit hit resistance, who cares? We disassemble that, right? And you can see just disassembling just this one piece gets us materials that we're going to need for crafting later. So again, just keep at it if you really want to min-max your gear. Now, in order to advance to level 50 and beyond, we don't need to do this. Our gear is already strong enough, basically, to carry us all the way to quest 50 plus. But if you want, once you have done this grind, I'm going to show you the next step. Alright, we're going to go to the blacksmith now. And so, that was helmet, chest, and gloves. So that means pants and boots is what we would craft. Or are what we would craft. And you would start with Dana, and you would work your way to, I forget her damn name. What's her name? This girl right here. Ornette. Yeah, I have no sleep, so it's hard to remember names. Okay. But since we start with Dana, we want to scroll down to the Frost gear, right? Which would be Frost Storm, and we definitely want to craft Legendary. We don't want to waste time crafting anything non-Legendary. And so, to craft Legendary, and they all cost the same material, we need this crystal here, this one, and these. Now, these are all very easy to get. In order to get these high-grade Frostbite stones, remember, we have the trait dungeon right down here where we could farm the stones. I'm going to go ahead and show you real quick. And so, if we go to the frost, one here, and we do normal, we get these crappy low grades. If we do this one, we get some intermediates and some low grade and so on. But if you take these medium ones, I'll show you now. And I feel like the lighting was a little off there. I hate that when I don't click the statue. But what I'm trying to show you here is that you can farm a bunch of lows or medium grade. It does not matter, because whenever we take it to the transmuting alchemist here, we can just make the high grade ones. So here's the high grade frost. We just need 3 medium grade ones. And if we want to make a medium grade frost, we just need 3 low grade frost. So it does not take a lot to make. Alright, and then as far as getting these tangled reminiscent things, well, we have so many metals that we could just buy a whole bunch of these, no problem, and craft that item there. Whenever we disassemble things, we're going to get these. We're going to get a lot of materials. The vein crystals, when you run around the open world and mine things, that's what these are. The purple crystals, the green crystals, you take 3 of each, you can make a blue crystal, right? But you can also just mine these when you find them in the wild. And then these, you can, again, craft, transmute. It's not too hard. You can also disassemble legendary gear. You can also pay metals for it, which I think is a waste of metals. But you can do whatever you want to be able to get this equipment. It's not hard to get. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and show you how the crafting would technically work here. I'm not going to actually craft it, but let's say we have the materials, right? And this is the thunder stuff, and yeah, just as an example, you will always go to set main option. Do not leave it to chance. Never leave it to chance. Click set main option, and then if you want attack, you put on attack. If you want max HP, Max HP up is percent. So you generally want attack, defense, or max HP, or crit hit chance if it's low for some reason, okay? But attack would be your main one. So this does take a forging mold, but lucky for us, we can run dungeons and earn these. We can also exchange it for metals, which is not a waste of metals. It's 50 metals, but we only need 6 of these total, right? And you can see just from the chests, the chest runs that I've given you, we have 9 molds already, and we barely chest farmed, okay? So again, you only need 6 total for legendary gear, and that gear you'll use it the rest of the game, okay? But what you do is, again, like for instance on the frost one, we would craft the frost pants and the frost boots, and then the gloves, chest, and helmet, we would use the crit set. And what this does is, if we use the frost set, because we're using 2 pieces, we get 15% additional frost damage. So that's how that works. Now you may be thinking, why not just get attack rate instead, or attack upgrades? And you could do that, but you can't set the fact that you want attack, defense, or max HP. You have to just rely on luck of the draw. Like, the Ballad is max HP, the Battle Will is attack power up, but you only get 6%. I would rather have 15% of the element, okay? Because you're only attacking with your elemental attacks on bosses. On trash mobs, they die anyway without gear. It doesn't matter. So that's why I don't use the Battle Will. That's why I use the crafted gear instead. It's just easier that way. Okay, so I'm going to give you all of the food recipes worth using now. And again, you could farm these at any point in the game. I'm going to show you some maps where you can get some of this stuff pretty easily. But this is in no real particular order. So take a fish and then 2 wheat and then boil it. And that'll give you a buff. You can only have 1 food buff at a time. Alright, so you have to choose what you want to use. But this will give you, your whole team, 18% crit rate for 15 minutes, okay? So what this means is that if we look at our current characters, even though we don't have a lot of crit rate on our gear, because we have it on our karma, which is our weapon essentially, we don't need any more crit rate. Now Castella's crit rate here is 31%, so yeah, she could use it, but everyone else is like at 79 and 76. So if we add 18, we're in the high 90s for crit chance. Alright, but there's a lot of other foods, okay? I'm going to show you the other foods here. Alright, so we have 3 wheat. If you grill 3 wheat, we get the 850 HP team heal. This is good until end game, right? It's just a little spot heal. But late game, when you have a lot of HP, you barely notice it. 2 vegetables and 1 wheat if you grill it, that's 1,200 HP as a team heal. Alright, 2 fish and 1 wheat is 1,350 HP as a team heal. It's just harder to get fit. Like, wheat is easy to get. You can get hundreds a week quickly. Whereas vegetables, not as hard. Fish is a lot harder to get, but you can see the difference between the heals. If you take meat and 2 rice and grill it, that's a beef bowl, it heals you 750 HP and then a 15% of your max HP. So what you're going to be doing is, once your HP is too high, this will be your standard. This is called the meat bowl. And I'll show you where to get rice. I've showed you earlier in the video. I'm gonna show you maps and talk about where to get all of this stuff. If you take tomato and 2 wheat, you have a better heal, but it's slower. But because the meat bowl goes on cooldown, and you can't eat multiple meat bowls, you kind of want to have both of these on your slots. So one will be your meat bowl, the other one will be your spaghetti, which is what tomato and 2 wheat is. And again, this is going to heal you by a good chunk on prolonged fights. Next up, 1 herb or 1 mushroom. You boil it, you get a revive. All right. And then 1 meat, 1 herb, 1 wheat. You boil that as a 40% revive, but you don't really need this. This is just if you want to be Gucci with the more expensive stuff. 1 vegetable, 1 herb, 1 mushroom chopped gives it. This is a cleanse for your team status effects. Like, if your characters are stunned or burning or poisoned and you need to get rid of it, this is what you use. You only really need this for certain boss fights, unless you're just taking lots of hits. Otherwise, you can usually just heal through it and it's better. 1 meat, 1 fish, and 1 seafood is attack percent, and crit damage percent. This is the better buff food late game. Again, you have to look at what your gear is and decide, do you want straight crit, or do you want a mix of all three? Now remember, seafood does not count as fish in this game. A fish is a fish, and seafood is a crab, seafood is a seashell, a conch. Everything that isn't a fish is considered seafood. Alright, so like a shrimp. Now, early game, you can use 3 wheat and boil it, and this will give you a 1,150 HP buff, but we're kind of past early game, we're in mid game at this point. You don't really need this unless you're just getting dumpstered and you want a cheap HP buff. 1,150 HP is not much, because if I show you here, you can see that Castella's HP is 8,400, so you get 1/9 of your HP in mid game. Not worth it. Alright, so 1 vegetable, 2 wheats if you chop it. This is a 15% stamina reduction on climbing and dashing if you need that for travel and you hate sitting around waiting for it to regenerate. If you take 1 egg and chop it, that is a 25% familiar stamina heal. Familiar is your mount. So if you need to heal your stamina on your mount, if you're swimming, this is what you use. You use eggs. Alright, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Alright, so excuse the MS Paint. I love me some MS Paint. Super useful for gamers, okay? So, I'm going to show you where to get stuff at, alright? We're going to use purple, and right over here at Meadow Beginnings, we have wheat and lantern gourd. That's where I like to get veggies and wheat. Alright, and then slightly down south, right here, we have honey on a lot of the trees. In this little... I can't see my cursor. There's my cursor. You can see right here, Aqua Lily, I did misspell the word lily. It ends with a Y, not an I. Fruit of Life, and blue and purple crystals. And then further down is tomatoes. I've covered all of this in the video so far. Right here on the top of the little tree area, you have 3-star herbs and walnuts, and there's some other stuff. You don't really need that other stuff. Now, across the pond here, we have poultry, eggs, and rice. This is really good for crafting those mid to end game heal items. Also, if we go north above Steelheart Fortress, right at the waypoint, there's a lot of foxes and rabbits you can farm. So, pretty good stuff there. There's a lot of stuff not marked on the map. For instance, if you just want to find a lot of mushrooms, just run around the forest and you'll find a lot of mushrooms on trees. Alright, so that's pretty simple. Again, this area is also pretty good. If you just need random carrots and veggies, I would just use lantern gourds, but if you want other veggies, you can go here and just run around. There's not like a whole bunch stacked up, though. For crystals, I really like down here for crystal farming. You go inside of the area, you go on the outside of the area, you'll get more than enough crystals than you'll need for all of your gear crafting. Not a problem there. I don't have it marked on the map, though, but that's where they're at. Also, for more crystal farms, you can run right up this road. There's a cave in here with a bunch of crystals. You got crystals all around this area. The crystals aren't really... You don't have to, like, really farm them. Just smash them as you run around the zones. I haven't been because I've been trying to rush this YouTube video to get it done. This is an alternate save file of mine after all. So I'm going to show you where to get some early chests. And these are just brown chests, blue chests, whatever chests. These are around the very start. And this will get you at least 50 chests for a title that gives you, like, a small little buff. So here's how to find these chests. Just look at the position of the top right of the map, where I am standing, and the cone of where my view angle is. So you can see I'm looking in the northwest direction, standing in this position. You should be able to find the chest with that hint. So I'm just going to quickly go through, and there's about 50 of these. Some of them we already got in the video, but I'm going to, if you are new to YouTube, you can push spacebar to pause the video. When it's paused, you can use the comma and period buttons to go back and forward a frame. But I'm just going to go ahead and go through these pretty quickly. I'm going to hold the angle for just a few seconds and then go through these, because I don't want to make this video any longer than it has to be. And it's already over 2.5 hours. All right. And again, these are in no particular order. They're just random chest locations that I happen to have found, and hopefully, by the time this video is out, someone has made an interactive map that you could use to find these. However, as of late of 2026, there's been a plight on every new game that comes out. A lot of people are using Claude and AI to make a website to just grab keywords about the game and A lot of these websites are completely fake with no info whatsoever, completely Claude coded. Like if you type DragonSword Awakening interactive map, you will not find an interactive map on the first 3 pages of Google currently. And this is like 2 weeks after the game has been out. I'm filming this on July 27th. So yeah, if you type DragonSword Awakening map, you can eventually find one, but it's not going to be on the first page. Hopefully it rises up. But every website you go to, they're all made from Claude AI, and they're all slop, and they're just there to steal clicks and nothing else. So let's go again. I'm going to just try to rapid fire these. So there we go. Chest, another chest. There's another one, another one. Now, some of these are indoors, and I try to like show off here how to get to this part, right? So you would go to the cathedral, and I show on the map where at in the cathedral, right? And again, these are just all over town or near town, so nothing too special, nothing too crazy. But yeah, and I know I didn't get all of them. I know there's still some that I missed, but these brown chests, they're not really worth all that much. They don't really do a whole lot. And I even have text on this one. I guess I can get rid of the text here for you, just to make it a little easier. But yeah, we have about 24 more chests to go. More chests. There we are. And the blue ones, like there's the King of the Marmots there. Again, that's technically a chest. And you can see that, like, I actually went through before getting any good mounts on some of these screenshots. So I was raw dogging it. I was moving very inefficiently around the world to find these because I wanted to get the info out early, but due to health issues, I haven't been able to make videos for this. And yeah, some of these are like we covered in the video. Some of these are the puzzle solutions. And yeah, I'm pretty sure I gave you guys all of the marmot locations in the video already. But yeah, we are on chest 51. This one's underwater. 52, 53, 50. Oh, this is the food one. We have, yeah, this one's pretty basic. Go fix the statue and you get a moon key, dude. Here's a moon key location, another moon key location, and that's it. That's all the chests I documented. All right, here's a quick rundown of what I think of the other characters. I think Eileen gives 20% crit buff. You don't need this crit buff ever because gear is just too damn good, so she's pointless. Reyna is probably the most floaty, air dashy character in the game, and this could be useful on platform levels and against giant bosses, where if you float above their hitboxes and their swings, that you can just smash into them infinitely, but there's really no reason for it because her DPS is kind of lacking. Astria is pure range, and the damage and DPS is very low. Roxy is also ranged, but her DPS, while better than Astria's, it's subpar, and it doesn't combo well with hardly any of the current roster. Maybe when they release more characters, she might be good, but she's a single target bleed character, which bleed does the same damage as frost, as lightning, as poison, etc. So nothing special here. And while she has some innate crit stuff, again, you get it all from gear. You don't need more crit. Alex is a tank. And maybe if you're co-op slopping with other people online, this character might be useful, but in it, like, everything boils down to a DPS race. You want to kill the boss as fast as possible. You want to farm the zone as fast as possible. Alex does none of that. Kayleen needs to be buffed. This character has a lot of homing attacks, but they tickle. They deal such little damage. Like, I tried to make this character work by leveling her to in-game, getting all the best gear possible, and leveling everything to max, and she does absolute garbage doo-doo crap damage. She floods the screen with firefoxes, and they hit very quickly, but they hit so weakly that even if you fully buff her, she just doesn't hit hard at all. Tharicia hits okay. This is a pretty middle ground character, but it's a bleed character, so it doesn't really work well with most team comps. Tart hits really hard for single target if you can park her right up next to a boss, but most bosses at in-game move around, they jump around, they fly and stuff, and so Tart becomes pretty useless there. But she is good for stunning, but you know who's better for stunning? A lot of other characters. Scion has some nice buffs, but they don't last that long. Even when you fully awaken his abilities, they don't stick on the battleground long enough to be worth the DPS loss. Now, Charlotte, very good single target DPS, but just, it's not better than our current roster. I know that there are a few big YouTubers saying, Charlotte's the best, oh boy, But they're just hype farming, they're just clip farming, alright? They aren't actually digging deep in the numbers. She's fun to play, though. But other than that, there is just no reason to play this character. Once you reach in-game, you do want to farm the exclusive karmas, because you won't rely on much as crit anymore, and you can disassemble your fully leveled up karmas and dump them into this. But essentially what each one does, like a sparkling tea time here, makes it when you summon Chaco, it deals damage over time where he lands, which is pretty damn good. And it's just not worth sacrificing early game and mid game crit over, that's all. Sacred Lightning Baptism just gives you an extra hit and a bunch of multi-hits on Holy Cross, but you have to cast it in Holy Circle, which you should be doing anyway for the buff, whatever. The multi-hits are okay, but you would probably upgrade this one last. Noisy Duet becomes really, really good because it turns Howl into a hold action, and it basically triples its damage and hits, but it also massively multiplies your break bonus attack damage, which in-game, like, all Castell is that her name? Ah, man, I keep forgetting the damn names, right? Is it Castell? Yeah, Castella, my bad. Stella, but with CA at the start. And she just becomes a break bot. That's her job. It's not to DPS, it's just to break the enemies so that they can't do anything, and it lowers their defense, and you bust out your elemental characters, and you melt. That's what you do, that's what she does. And so you build her entirely around breaking, and that's why you get Noisy Duet pretty late in the game. Now I want to talk about the questing routes. So, in Chapter 5, that's where we currently are, 41 through 50 or whatever, is at the end of this chapter, you have to do a raid. And so what you want to do is you just want to muscle your way through the mobs when your characters are dying or getting low on HP. You can leave the raid and then go heal and then rejoin the raid where you left off until you get to the final boss room, where you have to fight both boss forms with items. So you just stack revives and heals. And like how strong our characters are now at level 40 with level 40 karma and, you know, decent equipment, it's more than enough to take out the boss. Even if you suck at the game, even if you're terrible and you're not comboing correctly, you can still muscle your way through it. I have given you all of the resources to be able to do it, but this is where a lot of players get hard stuck in the game and complain, and they have to go out and grind, and they don't know how to get stronger. But if you follow the guide up to this point, you should be able to get through all of 05 very easily, do the raid, no problem. After that, you can then do the mercenary upgrade to start to hit level 50. You do the exact same thing you did to level up to 40, just at level 50, the same exact stuff. But also, you'll start to unlock runes, which if you look at gear, if you look at equipment here, you'll see that there is a rune slot, a little slot here, rune slot unlock required. You can click on this, and the game will explain what it is. And you could use these doohickeys to unlock the rune slot, and runes will start dropping, and you can also start farming runes. And then you put runes in here for more stat ups. I can show you kind of what they do. By the way, here's the probability options. So you can see like 5-star helmet, you have a 10% chance to get each stat. When you have the sub options, you have a 4.5% chance for each stat. And then rune options, 5-star rune, you have 20% of each stat here. And again, you can see what the runes do. So like Rune of Perfect Determination. Again, there's different tiers of this. Anywhere from 84 attack to 140 flat attack. You know, up to 100 defense, 1,500 max HP. So again, critical hit chance. You can literally just use runes to get to 100% if you want, right? Not that you would need to, but you basically use the rune slot to fill anything that's missing. Like if you're dying in one hit from a boss, you start stacking defense and HP and so on. And super late game, you swap out flat HP bonuses for percent HP bonuses, which I don't think runes have. Yeah, runes don't have percent HP. So you would get percent HP on your gear and flat HP on your runes and so on and so forth. And then tiers 7 and 8, you're just basically muscling your way through the game. After that, you have the bonds, which these are the side quests, all right? If you need medals, you can do all of Anne's side quests. You can do 7 out of 8 right now until you advance the story just a bit more. Once you complete the 05 here, you can then complete Anne's Bond, and you're gonna get hundreds of medals if you need to craft things, if you're into crafting. And again, like stuff like Bart, like Chef Bart, he's a guard right now, he becomes a chef later. But essentially, he's just all over the world randomly. Once you do his quest line, you'll just bump into him randomly in towns. He's always going to be near a fast travel. And a lot of these quest chains can take some time, like the Mysterious Child quest chain. This one's the longest, so I would do this one last. It is just, it's all over the place. You want to make sure you have the whole map unveiled before you even begin. And then King of Marmots, you just, again, you're going to be finding them around. I don't know why it's 0 out of 8 for some reason. But then you have the hero quest lines. Once you complete the raid quest and you get to level 50, you can unlock... I don't know if this is Cersei or Cersei, but what this does is, I can't show you the rewards, but you get their exclusive karma, which you can deconstruct at full value and give it to whoever you want. So you want to do all of these because it's 5 free exclusive karmas, and because we're using Ornette, you get a free one here. And also the rewards are just really good. So that's essentially the whole game for questing. After that, I can't really show you everything here, but you have your dailies. Alright, so you can farm one of these a day per boss. Okay, and you get what you get. You have the sudden missions, which are just the random monsters that show up. I don't know why this is empty. This should not be empty. And then special challenges, you have normal, trait, currency, and hunt. And you can do the hunts infinitely, and then essentially what you're going to be doing is you're just going to be running, high-level hunts, and you can even use the invite code to invite people. You can also create a lobby and see if anyone joins it or whatever, but I've never had anyone join my lobbies, and there's 20,000 people playing this, so I don't know if they're just not caught up to where I am, or if they just don't care, because they can solo it, but that's the whole game. And once you get bored of this team, then you make other teams. And also in the questing, you're going to need multiple characters, so you can't just finish the game with 3 characters. You're going to have to level up 3 more characters and do a 6-man raid with all of your characters, though technically you can just let them die and have the other characters carry, but it is going to slow things down and make the fight a slog. But yeah, Legends. But other things are to do, like get all the collectibles like familiars. You can go here, pay 100 metal, and get this beetle. By owning 2 beetles, all your mounts now have 10% max stamina. I would avoid the DLC mounts. Like, yeah, if you get all of the squirrels, you can increase movement speed by 10% when climbing and stuff, yada, yada, yada. But that costs real money. That's pay to win, okay? It is pay to win because it gives you an advantage over someone who does not pay. But you can run around, and there's different, ways to get the mounts. If you go to the... it'll tell you, like, this is DLC. Once you do the Veteran Mercenary Core promotion, you'll get this wolf. When you have 2 wolves, all of your mounts can use Boost Jump. So, there you go. That's just essentially what you want to do. And again, this has been the best possible start. This is not a full guide for the game. Like, a full game guide would cover everything all the way to the end game. But you're at the point now, if you followed along thus far... You're all set. You don't have to have me hold your hand and tell you what to do anymore. You can now figure it out for yourself. Now, obviously, if there's like a puzzle that's too hard, here's the thing, legends. Listen, I have no life, no friends, no family, no life obligations, no job. I just play video games and read my YouTube comments. So if you have any question like, how do I do the Dragon Stone Peak Statue of Organa puzzle? You can ask in the comments. I read every comment, and if I know the answer, if I remember the answer, I'll answer it, okay? Now, if you're, like, watching this 2 years later when this game went on sale on Steam, and you ask me, how do I do this puzzle, I'm probably not gonna know. But, if you dig through my comments, you'll probably have seen where I answered someone else's question. That's how my guide videos are. Assuming this video does well. If this video gets hundreds of thousands of views, there's gonna be a lot of questions in the comments, and a lot of answers, okay? But this video is not meant to be a full game guide. It's meant to get you started on the right path so that you deal lots of damage, you can clear efficiently. Whereas someone playing the game not knowing what they're doing, picking the wrong karmas and picking the wrong heroes to make their party. Like if you pick Kayleen, Tart, and Charlotte, that's gonna be a really bad party that they don't synergize, they don't pop off each other's abilities, they deal ass damage. Like, I've seen streamers that have streamed this game for 12 hours at a time. They just pick Charlotte and they don't switch characters. and they take like 20 minutes to kill a boss when I can kill it in 1 minute. It's insane how bad some people are at this game, and I'm not trying to make fun of them. I'm trying to help you not waste your time on the pixel slop video game, okay? And this game is, I wouldn't say it's not pixel slop, okay? It's a pretty damn good game. And also, thanks to Hound13 for gifting me the game for free. I played the demo, and I made a video about the demo, and I thought it was cool. And the devs watched my video, and they liked it, despite it having some audio errors. And they gave me this game for free. I didn't have to beg my audience. I didn't have to beg them for a copy or flex my YouTube channel and be like, hey, I can really help you sell some games. But if you're watching this video and you haven't bought the game yet, there is a link in the description. It is not an affiliate link. It's just a link to Steam. Go buy the game. If you're a console player, go buy it on console. It's worth, like, you're going to get plenty of playtime out of this. The game is pretty. It's got that anime aesthetic. It's got an anime babe for all walks of life, okay? I'm getting a little cringe here. I'm getting in cringe territory, but, you know, I'm sure you can find, you know, your perfect anime waifu babe. No, we don't play this game for the waifu. We play it for the action. It's very good action. It plays well. It's non-gacha. Here's the thing, legends. Here's the thing, lads. The game is non-gacha. It was originally going to be a gacha, but they got into a feud with a publisher and decided, nah, we'll just sell it as is. No gacha. So we, the players, have to vote with our wallets, even though I got the game for free and I'm not voting with a wallet at all because I'm broke. The point that I'm trying to make is that if you want to see more games follow suit and not be gacha slop, you have to support this game, because if no one supports this game, then we're doomed to get gacha slop. That's it. That's the world we live in. You have to make a decision now, okay? But other than that, enjoy running around the game, doing your side quests, doing everything else. Anyway, I'm SoulBenji. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy MMOs, if you enjoy open world games, I cover whatever the hell I want to play. I make guides for. This is a guides channel. Check out my other videos. Again, you've probably seen me around. I know you don't just play one type of game. A lot of my viewers, they see a guide and they're like, oh, that was cool. And then years later, they see another guide like, I remember you, and I remember how good your guides were. I have yet to ever find a single person on YouTube, Twitch, Kick, wherever, that makes guides better than me. Maybe their editing, their editing is better, but the content is not. They all end up copying my content, and because they have editing teams and shills and partnerships and managers, and you know, they treat it like a job. I treat it like a hobby. I'm just a gamer having fun like you guys. We're sitting on the couch together. We're playing a game together. I'm not some corpo schlop shlomo that's like, oh boy, time to make a video and milk it for as much dollary dues as possible. To be real, these videos pay less than minimum wage. I make less money than a Starbucks barista does on part-time. Alright, and I spend about 90 hours a week making these videos, okay? But with that said, all I'm going to ask you to do, because I'm not going to make any, I don't think I'm going to make any more videos for this game. You don't have to subscribe. You don't have to subscribe, but what I do want you to do is just leave a comment and click the video on the right side of your screen. If you don't click the video on the right side of your screen, I'm actually a dark evil wizard in real life, and you're going to get gout for a whole week straight in your left foot near your ankle if you don't click that video, and it's not going to happen immediately. Alright, it takes time for the magic to get around, but it will happen to you, and when you get gout, don't blame me, because I warned you. Alright, a little bonus footage for the lads, alright? I think you know what I'm talking about here. Anyway, see y'all later. Mwah.